I'm looking forward towards this. We get to see what all the allure is about when it comes towards Kazakhstan. This is a side who went flawless throughout the groups. We know what they've got up their sleeve in terms of the individuals. I got to catch them in the qualifiers as well, and they were dominant. However, it's a different kettle of fish when you're now in best of threes and against a team where you're a mix.
You know, you talk a big game, Neo, about this Kazakhstan team, and I'm really curious to see if they can put the money where their mouth is. And it's an interesting veto. I don't necessarily love that they have to go into Vertigo, but genuinely, I still think that having Ancient and Inferno, which are two, well, Ancient they've just had good success on in this tournament.
Absolutely.
Inferno is a map that Neelan genuinely did enjoy calling on. It's a map that Kerrigan has actually praised Neelan on in terms of his openings, in terms of how he likes to approach those opening statements of those rounds. It's just about, you know, again, not feeling that pressure when you're on stage. This is like the first time for them, genuinely.
Yeah. And
also making sure that these youngsters, players like Pumpkin, players like Dementus, can show up when it matters most.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big thing you touched on there, is that we actually haven't seen Kazakhstan on the stage here next to us. So is that going to be a bit of a difference to them? Are they going to maybe feel a bit uncomfortable? Are they going to worry a little bit? We have to wait and see. But we are going to get live here as well as we kickstart our second quarterfinal of the day. While this one's going on, we've got Germany taking on Romania just a little bit off stage as well. We've been hearing the screams and the shouts. It looks like Germany, what we know so far, are doing pretty well. But let's get the show on the road. We're kickstarting things. Portugal on that CT side, Kazakhstan on the T side.
Here we go, baby. Final quarterfinal, third, if you want to count it that way too. But we're getting to the closing sectors here at IESF, World Esports Championship. And we'll soon have a victor by this time tomorrow.
Yeah, who's joining Serbia?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But Kazakhstan with a raid boss P250 on Pumpkin. That's definitely the guy you'd want to give it to at this point. And a very slow, methodical approach from Kazakhstan. Now they explode out through Shelf. Want to go charging into the donut and into that A site. Snappy to take first contact. Yeah,
a couple of names to keep an eye out for Kazakhstan, for those who are a little bit unfamiliar. Pumpkin absolutely is the main man to watch out for. The primary AWPer, the guy who does a lot of the legwork in that sense. Another guy who also had a lot of impact in the quals was Defizer 2 as well as Black Magic. Pumpkin will use that P250 to good use as they get that bomb down. They're looking to try and set up the post plant, but Rafa will catch them off guard. No PG to get spotted out too. Tap on towards the bomb. Not a stick though. Black Magic up close. Got to do some magic. And he does. Cast a spell on Snappy and Rafa as they make their way in and go 6 feet under. Brilliant work. Kazakhstan, we know they've got just something up their sleeve. They've got a bit of an aura about them, and you do see it there.
Yeah, it's a great commitment there to just charge into Donut as quickly as possible. As soon as they do get that entry, you cause a rotation from Cave that Dementus punishes. And right after that, it's an awkward post plant. Not necessarily one that I was too thrilled about for Kazakhstan. You didn't have an A main player. You didn't have a close sight player either. But either way, Black Magic finding a way to win, put it simply. And Portugal will listen to your advice. They'll go for that full save and go for a full stack in middle.
And a lot of teams actually would not full save it just because they got 4 kills. And they think, oh, okay, well, we can try and go head to head. But this Swan, I was going to say, not going to work out too well. They probably want to try and deny that gun being picked up if they can. Dementa, he's going to get tagged up a little bit. It's about recovery mission. They will get the AK on TMKJ. And the Macting going to fall. It's a 2 versus 2 here. So Portugal's lack of buy is still giving them a chance. Dementa's low. Yeah. They actually do have to be a little bit concerned that the only thing they got going for them is the fact that there's no kit and very limited util coming forward. Mac 10 round that corner. Rafa looking to try and isolate a fight here, and primarily on towards Dementa. He is just so low, and Nade will come down, but I think they're just going to pull away. They don't have a kit. They don't have the time. But honestly, they're taking a nice silver lining there of an AK and Mac 10, 3 out of 5 kills. I don't actually think Portugal are too annoyed at that round.
No, I think it's a pretty good result, all things said. You know, another thing to note in that situation is they don't have armor either. So even if they want to go swinging in for an angle, it's got to be that instant headshot. So Portugal will be happy. Oh, actually, at the tail end, Rafa collects a Galil. So 2 rifles picked up. It should mean all the utility basically necessary for some of these players. And that means especially on a map like Ancient, establishing mid control, maybe you can go for some lane aggression. It opens some doors here when you start out. No Peach.
Yeah, I could say
Kind of weird
match
situation
medic,
there.
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Because for a second I was like, why is no Peach not buying?
Yeah. But also it should be shorted soon.
But yeah, you got Galil, you got an AK, and then you got the rifles around it. I doubt they have enough for the AWP, but even still, it's good that we just see them have the full set of rifles. I mean, they basically go toe-to-toe when it comes towards the level of firepower that Kazakhstan are going to bring to the table. So I think at the very least, we're pretty happy in that sense. We shall see, though. I mean, obviously, this Kazakhstan side did so well in the groups, did so well in the qualifiers. They look incredibly scary. Last year, they made their way towards playoffs in a similar vein. They were this side of a lot of aura about them. We caught them once, I think, in the groups and did really, really well. But it was a different lineup. It was some newer faces. Back then, it was actually the full five of a team under the banner of Tor. But that isn't, of course, the lineup we got here. But some good players back then. Icy Flowing was the one in particular for me who was incredible. He was lights out. I think he ended up being the second highest rated player at that event. Don't see him this time. But this new lineup of Kazakhstan showcasing there's even more talent still in that roster. Even with a completely different five, they're still looking super scary. Maybe arguably even scarier than last year. Last year they got first rounded. This year they have the chance of making it towards the semis.
You've got Nealon in the lineup as well, and I as an NA fan, we've seen him play under that EG banner. His name has been raptured from the community internationally.
Yeah.
But I really do think that he's shown some promise.
Yeah.
And this is one of those chances that he has to take some of these younger players and mold them and showcase that he, alongside these talents, are capable of some great things within the scene. I will say he takes a lot of damage from that molly, and Crazy Spam is true. 5v4 for Portugal.
All the question is now, how do we want to go about this now that we've got the numbers in your disadvantage? Well, they get gifted one over, and Peach gets boosted up into fight, and does very well to get a kill and get away. Molotov down over towards Ram to stop re-aggression from TMKJ. But he also has support too. It was a triple setup early. And also, Defies if he wants to, he can actually scoop up an M4 as an upgrade over that Galil.
Yeah, opportunity there. Black Magic on the extremities, looking for a kill. It's a swing back, and Crazy will find his man. Huge kill in the construct of this round, because now Kazakhstan are forced into this B play. They're going to have to hit some blinding headshots, and they do hit the headshot, but it's not the kills. The Galil and the AK on the other end, and the CT's hands comes out the better. And all that damage, and now this round all but confirmed, means that Kazakhstan very quickly on the ropes. Unless Pumpkin, the main man, can cause some ruckus.
Oh, he's looking, trying to isolate. Shadow spotted. Kill found. And still got decent enough HP to potentially even try and test something. Molotov going to bank round over towards short. Just really just TMKJ on that spam. He has to be a little bit worried of. He does get the sight. He does get a plant, but not going to commit to it yet. A little bit of a spam. That smoke's going to go. His time is running low as well. Swing for the fences, but it's ultimately a miss. And it will be Portugal getting there first. So as a first gun round goes, it wasn't actually too hard for Portugal.
Yeah, and again, the damage done in that second round, even though all the bells and whistles were out in the third, Kazakhstan are in a very awkward situation. And, it's single loss, so yes, you can purchase it in a Galil, so why not? Just have the pistols to back it up and see if you can continue to put the pressure onto these CTs. Mid control being a priority here for Kazakhstan, but they're getting pushed away. Now that these CTs feel a little bit more comfortable with the utility, you'd think it'd be okay, but Nealon still finds one. And Pumpkin punishes Crazy through the smoke, so all of a sudden, mid control and a 5v3 established for the T's. And Portugal are right back on the ropes.
Yeah, and it's not really an easy spot for Portugal to be in because they don't really actually have solid information to go off. Rafa's got to try and hit those shots. They're the ones that you sort of got to confirm. And he overflicks it. That could have made things a little easier. But again, right, we're talking about information that Kazakhstan have gained. Mid control was taken and then given up. Portugal don't know that. And then a bit of presence shown over towards A main, but still, they don't know whether that's a commit. They don't know whether it's a fake or a lurk. And you could even see them trying to play this buddy system too. TMKJ and No Peach playing off each other, leaving Rafa isolated towards the temple. And it does feel like they want to go for this A hit, but it's not a split through Donut. It's actually going to be a raw fight through main, but they're going to bide their time before they commit towards it. They don't actually have a lot of util here, this Kazakhstan side. We're talking about a smoke and a flash. Got to be utilized pretty effectively here.
They've sold a little bit of a fake as well, continuing to replenish things in the cave on the B end of the map. And Rafa can't even find one. There is absolutely no way that Portugal should be going for this. They need to tuck tail as soon as possible. They've got to deal with Black Magic, a real thorn in their side, hiding in elbow there. And even Nealon putting on some pressure. These CTs have been trounced in round number 4.
I like this. Keeping the pressure on because they know they can buy in towards the next anyway. So just see, you know, setting a Galil into potential demise is not actually the most worrying thing in the world. They're going to be able to buy back in. Pumpkin, of course, got that AWP for that next round. Keep an eye out for that. I think Hawker mentioned it. He is someone who likes to use the rifle a lot, but I think of this as sort of a... oh, hang on. Oh, no. That was a good opportunity for maybe a hunt there. Not to be in the end. Yeah, so Hawker mentioned it on the desk. He was talking about how he actually, like, 50% of the time picks up the rifle. I akin this to sort of Zyru-esque AWPing numbers. He uses the rifle more than he uses the AWP, but he still is sort of the primary AWPer who can actually put some really, really good numbers on the server. But in the groups, we're seeing Nealon pick it up too. So the fact that they have choices, I think, is actually a really important thing. Yeah,
I mean, let's not forget Nealon can do some fragging on his own as well, as we kind of spoke about in the group stage.
Yeah.
And of course, it's against lesser opposition, and that's a whole bit, but that potential is still there, Icy Blown or not. And now,
Rip
Portugal, he's still destined for some good things, I'm sure.
I hope so. Seriously talented, and speaks like 3 languages too. So
that's cool.
You'd hope. I think he speaks. I know his English is really good. Had a couple of conversations with him, and he was absolutely fine.
I'm assuming Russian is.
Yeah. He plays on Force Reload now, which is their academy side. I think they come in Russian. I think, and then this might be kind of down. I don't actually know what they speak. I want to assume they have their own language.
They might. Well, either way, we're gonna go charging into this B bomb site, all-around rush call, and sure they trade and get some space, but they don't have the kills to back it up entirely. Blinking, you miss it. Pumpkin now in a 1v3. Bomb dropped on the site proper.
It's easy to say in hindsight, but that's one of those calls that I don't like just because Kazakhstan had the advantages to work with in terms of they knew they could challenge them again in around that sort of work. So they slow it down, wait for some sort of overextension, as we saw in that previous round, for example, where kind of TMKJ, I think it was jumping up on, no, it was Crazy, I think, who jumped up on towards box. He can kind of punish in that way, but this time, they try and go quick. They try and catch them off guard off the back of a round 1 out of nothing, and it gets flipped right back on its head. Pumpkin got to do some heroics here. But then AWP shifted his way forward. I mean, how do we actually even make this sort of a round work for you? You have so many angles to clear, and so little to work with. Swing out, and yeah, we're just looking the wrong way. It was a 50-50, a coin flip, pick your poison, look right or left. And he picks the wrong side.
Unfortunate situation, but yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I would hold that B-rush call for maybe round 7, round 8-ish, once you've conditioned a little bit more.
Yeah.
But right now, proper protocols were in place to smoke ahead to give a couple of gray screen tees free fights for Portugal. So credit to them for capitalizing and having that flowchart in place. This is still a relatively new 5-man unit, even if they play under that Rhino banner. Only a couple of best of 3s notched under their belt, and Pumpkin nearly completes the transfer. Nealon is there to convert. But either way, sublime mid-take here from Kazakhstan.
Look at that response straight away. I mean, we have the AWP over here of Rafa. But I don't actually think it's going to make a massive difference. Molly over towards Temple exit and a smoke down towards CT. I think we've got to save it. It's a 5 versus 3. We have no real in-routes towards the site, and they actually don't really have an understanding of how good the buy is. They've seen 2 AKs. They don't realize that those 2 AKs are, 2 of 3. They're just not going to risk it. So I think this is probably the smart call to fall away. A tough predicament. This back and forth actually favors the T side.
Oh, 100%, right? I mean, it's so much easier for the Ts to produce weaponry that is potent, something that the CTs cannot do. With how flimsy this loss bonus is for Portugal, it's kind of a no-brainer. They have no idea what's going on in middle. They have no idea what's going on in their own spawn, so
Yeah.
genuinely not a bad call in this space. But what a take there from Nealon and Pumpkin. I really was hoping he'd completed that transfer.
Yeah. That would continue the sort of idea we've got about Pumpkin, who at the moment is just like this superstar, has the potential to kind of really take over in a tournament like this. Did it in the quals, had moments of it in the groups. And it seems like numbers were primarily actually over towards Nealon, really, in the groups. But also as well, for Nealon, I think a lot of people just forget this is a guy who was like a stalwart in Tier 1 for like so long.
Yeah.
Granted, not always the most successful, but this is a guy who played at that top level for so long that when you play in a tournament like this where it's, you know, no offense, like a little bit more Tier 2, he actually should be seen as a bit more of a scarier factor.
Well, I think about his time on K23 where he really made his name for himself, and in that roster, I mean, of course, all the players on that team have done incredible things.
Flip, Fame.
Now, yeah, you think about Norbert as well.
Yeah, Norby might go.
Yeah, and I think that really just comes down to Nealon having so many reps in that tier and learning how to adapt on the fly. I think it's one of the hardest things to do in Tier 2 is just continue to play these defaults round after round, game after game. And I think he's mastered that in a lot of ways. Now he's got to do it with players that he hasn't necessarily played with as often. So far, pretty solid.
Yeah.
The game plan looks pretty good. And look, they have gotten onto the B site yet again.
Well, what now? Rafa with that up. Line of sight diminished, but leaving one open. Because they do want to take a bit of longer try. I do like this, but no P just still a concern. And one they're not actually holding for just yet. Bot flash is fantastic. Baits out a shot. That'll bait out the information that they need. Another flash behind it too. Blinds 3. But no P's now pounces. So his position known. I'm surprised they don't hold for him because they didn't clear cave. Allows him a kill and to get away. A second behind it as well with the support of TMKJ. But defies those two of his own. So brings the numbers back even. The flank is on. And really well executed by that off Snappy. Or Crazy Man, I say, but even still, Dementa's put into a tough 1v3 turn 1v2. Bomb being held, stuck, defused, nice and easy, and it doesn't make a difference. Dementa, you get your X's for the round still for Portugal. So back and forth. Neither side taking control of momentum so far.
I like the call there from Kazakhstan. You just have this two-man effort charging up the elbow, and they get so much space that they realize, hey, maybe we can just smoke this off and confirm the plan, but very awkward kind of response to that two-man play from Kazakhstan, that they had these very awkward post plans. You had not completely cleared out cave. You couldn't actually confirm short control either. So there was never that advanced warning system to maybe shave off a player or make it an easier post. So good on Portugal even after a couple of whiffy shots. Now, it's another situation where Kazakhstan get an important part of the map in the early stages without losing anybody.
Yeah, they're very good at getting mid-control. You got to give them that credit. But I think maybe it's probably on the other side, but Portugal aren't opting to fight for it. So it feels like a question of when are actually Portugal going to show some aggression towards elbow. Right now, all their kind of setups seem to be give up mid-control and then play, as we're seeing now, retake on it mid to late round.
You do have a warning symbol in Black Magic to, or rather Nealon, to see something, and Defies are so aware of that swing, and now Nealon can strike, and all of these players that come to re-aggress are caught between a rock and a hard place, turning every which way, and none of them find the timing to win the round. And unfortunately, this one has Kazakhstan written all over it if you're a Portugal fan. And that bomb makes it away into that A site completely clearly.
Another back and forth as well. When are we finally going to see a side on the gun rounds get back-to-back rounds? We saw obviously Kazakhstan start the game off with a pistol and a force behind it, but just a little bit of consistency in the rifle rounds would be nice. It seems now is probably the best opportunity because of long-term econ being finally diminished over towards Portugal. Already 2 saving. You can't really properly force buy around it with 2 saving. If you have 3, financially you can. But 2 unfortunately is not the same.
TMKJ will love to hold on to this, and There's been a bit of a shoulder peeking game from both players of the Pfizer and TMKJ, but nobody's showing their whole body for a kill. So 2 rifle saves for the CTs. Kazakhstan marches up to 5. And now surely you're thinking that Kazakhstan can pull away in this back and forth, because
Yeah.
it's a double eco situation, but it's going to be pistols guaranteed across the board for those middle 3 players.
Maybe not, you know. They might actually force into this because they're at 1.4k.
No, that's what I'm saying. So I think they'll force,
yeah.
but they'd only have pistols is the issue.
Yeah. 1 MP9 coming through. And a smoke. I need to get a kit, though. That's like a bit of a saving grace, but
Yeah.
it still feels like a bit of a spot where this is the perfect prime opportunity for Kazakhstan to actually really showcase a bit of dominance, a bit of consistency. Defiance does boost up the orb, but the orb moving the rifle, may I say, on towards box, but they don't commit towards that play. Retaking towards mid-control. We saw Portugal go for some mid to late mid-round aggression. This time. Bit more passive. Triple stack towards A, 2 over towards B, 0 in towards mid.
Another great opening here for Kazakhstan. And right now Portugal relying on this gamble on A to net them something, but at the end of the day, they won't be able to dictate the play in round number 9. And honestly, Neelan can just park here for a long time and make sure that these 3 players commit to the stack completely. And for right now, Demente will also join him. But you know what?
Bring in the bomb. That's
Yeah.
worrying me a little bit now.
I think they're going to be going right into this.
I think the good thing is they've only got 1 of the rifles here. MP9 and the Deagle as well. Rafa will be flashed a little bit, but not enough to force him into making a mistake. That setup going 1 for 1 is okay. Because Black Magic, I actually expect him to do better there. Crazy's given the opportunity at 2, which keeps this as a possibility. TMKJ is rotating over via CT or behind the smoke. Tap on towards him. And it's going to be flash or pop, and Neelan doesn't commit to the fight. So that gives them the round. Finally, back-to-back rounds of the gun rounds for Kazakhstan means 6-3. As T-sides go, it's pretty good.
Yeah, as Defizer was crossing from mid into Donut, I believe that last rifler shot at him in Red Room and gave away a huge sound cue, and then also that flash bouncing definitely helps for Neelan. Great proactivity and patience to get off of it and stay stalwart. And finally, back-to-back rounds here for a team in this first map. And now 7 all but guaranteed at this point for Kazakhstan, and talk about a fantastic start here for this mixed squad. And you know, they're living up to that potential that they showcased to us in the group stage.
Yeah, not a 5, but they actually play with a lot of cohesion. My assumption is that they must have done a lot of practice recently, because they're not playing as a side who look like a mix. They've got very good protocols. The defaults actually look very tight-knit.
Yeah, they're not all on any dedicated teams right now, or like any dedicated top teams.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So
There's probably like some domestic things, you know what I mean? But
for sure.
what that really is in the Kazakhstan scene, it feels quite loose. That's probably the way to put it.
Well, no Peach, Snappy, they would love to pick up anything really at this point.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to see actually where these guys have been playing recently, if anywhere.
yeah,
Obviously, Neelan, last time we seen Neelan, it's been a minute.
it was Gamer Legion, right?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
yeah.
think he really decided to take an opportunity with any tier 2 team per se. So I wonder what he's crafting right now.
Yeah, benched on 1 win. That was the last.
Right, there was a
Yeah.
whole 1-win stint as well.
I don't know
Correct.
how long has that been actually since he's been benched? He's been
It's
benched
been
for
a little bit.
7 months.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, actually, no. He's been there for 7 months, I think.
It's recent, I think.
Yeah.
I think the benching was recent, but he had Hobbit, he
But
had
yeah,
Vladik.
bench in September, so a couple of
Yeah,
months.
yeah.
But he's been and 1 win for 7 months. But yeah, him, Ryujin, and Buster all got benched at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Hobbit now the caller for that team.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Honestly, they look pretty good. I've got to cast them a couple of times, and yeah, pretty solid team.
Well, now another opening here for Kazakhstan as Neelan will crack things open. 13-6 to start out
Yeah.
this map of Ancient. Everything that you could ask for if you're a Kazakhstan fan. Oh, beautiful flash from the in-game leader as well. Pumpkin finds his man, and now Rafa cannot even reface. And Spam is so good on no Peter, but Snappy pushing through Shelf will shave off two. But watch Black Magic. Look at how much space he's taken. He realizes that there's so much space to gain. And Defizer will find another. Things look very good for Kazakhstan in the mid-round. I don't think Rafa has any idea that Black Magic could be in the back lines. And surely this B play is the right one.
Yeah, it is. Black Magic, really good work at the end. Just looking through as well. So for Defizer and Pumpkin, last time they played on HTV was in a bit more of a domestic tournament somewhere near Kazakhstan, I want to say. And they were playing on a team called Lewandowski.
Huh.
The footballer for Barcelona. So interesting name. It's those two are playing together. And then obviously Neelan was on one win for a little bit. And let's see where we've seen the rest of them. I guess for Black Magic, I've definitely seen him around I want to say not too long ago, but I'm not 100% sure. They had Daco playing in this team instead of Black Magic for a little bit. And Dementor's been playing on all inners. But with none of these guys. And they haven't played really any games, but yeah, it's been a hot minute really since we've seen kind of a lot of these guys really playing anything internationally competitive. I mean, Neelan obviously is the one with the prime amount of experience, but it showcases as well just maybe how much sort of underground talent there actually kind of really is. Yeah, so he was playing a couple of, again, more domestic tournaments against, yeah, I mean, teams I've never even really heard of.
FPL, FPLC, that's probably
Yeah.
where a lot of the practice came from, just to stay fresh, and of course scrimming also helps. What?
Oh no, it's alright. Daco is alias is also Black Magic.
Oh!
I did not know that. There you go. The more you know.
Ooh, big kill from Crazy. Actually puts a lot of pressure now in the post plant, in the man disadvantage for Kazakhstan. And look at how fast these Portugal players are here at the scene of the crime. You've got a fast A main flank, you've got two players in donut instantaneously. It's all about capitalizing on these positions now. And a nade open should allow for TMKJ to strike.
Well, swing, fine, from Neelan. Into 3 versus 3, chance to work with here. Pretty healthy grenade that comes through, and the swing into CT is so good. The 180 is close, but not enough for a deagle shot from Pumpkin. Oh, that is what he can do. Oh man, they're just so fun to watch. And this is actually one of the beautiful things about a tournament like IESF, when you get to see individuals that you're not all too familiar with, because maybe they just don't play that much international Counter-Strike. And this is the issue with kind of Kazakhstan. They're actually in a really uncomfortable position in terms of kind of their geography, where they get like 100 ping to EU, but also like 100 ping to Asia as well. So it is a bit of a pick your poison sort of situation for them. And I think generally when it comes towards quals, I know it was the case for the majors, that they're classed as EU. So they have to play their quals in 100 ping, which is it's so difficult. But there was actually a pretty solid team at one point called 100 ping gods.
Brutal, but even in that situation, they've shown that they still have a lot of capabilities.
Well, think of it this way, right? If they're good when they're on 100 ping, it shows how good they are when they're on 0 ping.
Yeah. We thought about it being good practice for them. And now they're looking good in this pistol as well. They lose Donut, but they've got themselves an opening pick. Snappy, however, does call the team all the way back with that entry that they find on the B end. And I think Kazakhstan realizes that as well, and they're going to go swinging the other way. But that pump fake is all a ruse. They're going to actually commit to A when all is said and done. And they should get a man advantage and a bomb plant as well.
Yeah, Snappy does really well. Still stays lurking. Gets one, gets a tag on towards another. He's just keeping pressure on. He's keeping attention drawn. That feels like it should be enough. You'd expect that Snappy is doing God's work in this round. What a performance from him. But Black Magic still got something up his sleeve. And Karsten, a bit of a spell of his own. Only had a kit, man. Tap on towards the bomb. Not committing to the fight just yet. He can't get that kill behind it. But at least the two were pretty crispy shots.
Yeah, he made me start believing there just for a little bit. The captain of Snappy does it himself. Causes and sows so many seeds of doubt in the minds of Kazakhstan. And then the execution on that ace site. Full save now for Kazakhstan. Never opting in for the purchase. How about that singular flash? Yeah, they're learning.
I like this. One flash, going to throw it over Donut here. This Black Magic's got it lined up. That's going to give them mid control, which is great, but no one's there.
Unicorn round, perhaps?
Yeah, because there might be even a thought process of let's just not give the Mac 10 money.
Yeah.
Bomb goes down. Looks like they might have a little bit of a look in towards Shelf. How much further they commit towards this, we shall see. Flash over. TMKJ, oh ho ho, holding down Mouse 1. Has the spawner crazy, and he's tapping away. It's just cheeky. TMKJ and Crazy do really, really well. Making sure the pistols get nothing, but at least it's not the Mach 10, so it's not a huge amount of kill bonus.
Whatever consolation you want, Neo. Whatever consolation.
Yeah, you know it.
Well, guns are out for Kazakhstan, and now the true test comes for Snappy and his company.
Gonna check as well. We've been hearing a couple of shouts off stage.
Yeah, give me an update on that.
How is that? Ooh, Germany have just taken map number 1. That's what that celebration was. 13-8.
Oh
took map number 1 off the Romanians off Nexus. That's very special. And that one is quite a cool game because it is essentially alternate attacks versus Nexus. So 2 teams that will know each other actually quite well. And actually, I had a conversation yesterday with the manager over towards Germany, and he said, who would you prefer to play, Portugal or Romania? And he said Germany or Romania, and he said Germany all day, Romania all day, because he knows them.
I admire it. Well, look, in this round, we're kind of all over the place. If you're Portugal, they get a kill on the B side of the map, they get a kill in middle, and at the end of it all, they still have a man advantage and potentially a bomb plan here, but Nealon, he has an opportunity to take it all away. Shadow spotted, double swing found, and Portugal now are in pole position to win off this first buy round, albeit a very chaotic one to say the least.
Divisor.
Safe, really.
Yeah, just play exits here. I mean, even that's probably not even that. Just keep on to what you've got. He probably has to be more careful about being hunted more than saving himself. So he's going to be Portugal up to 6th. Probably going to get a 7th as well because there isn't going to be really much of a buy. That's one gun round now being actually the difference between where we're at now and actually Kazakhstan taking a bit of a step back and losing quite the healthy lead. You know, going from 9-3 to a 9-9 would be a really bad fall from grace.
Definitely so. But sometimes this is just that momentum that comes with winning the pistol and the conversion. Maybe you wanted Pumpkin's AWP to be a factor, but that's the disadvantage of losing that pistol in the second round where you don't buy at all. So that loss bonus hasn't built up, but when it does come to that following, when it comes to the 17th round, it will be there. And that's what we're looking forward to. What can he do once he finally has that sniper?
9-6. Unfortunately, a bit of a nothing round. My assumption, which is not going to happen, is that they were going to kind of stick them together and just sort of be cannon fodder. For Divisor, it doesn't look like that's the case. They're playing a little bit more of a, well, actually, it's basically a default setup, in all fairness, for the most part. Maybe a slight bit more presence over towards A, which I'm sure they now regret. The 2 pistols on B get decimated. And I think if you're Divisor here, just don't go even near them.
Head for the hills. And right now, he's just in pocket in middle. So, Portugal cut the lead down to 2 after a 9-3 half. Are asked upon just a couple more rounds to equalize. Very interesting scene right now with how the bracket's shaping up. We have a final-esque semi-final developing between Sweden and potentially Germany. And here, Kazakhstan or Portugal to play the winner of, or sorry, not the other winner, we've already got that decision.
Yeah.
Of Serbia.
It does actually feel like that Germany-Sweden game is, they're 2 of the top 3 Because the loser of that should probably win the third, fourth placement match, I'd assume. Because they just look so good, both of those two sides. So yeah, it is really difficult, actually. But this game's getting a little closer as well. It's 4 rounds on the trot for Portugal. Both sides having a hell of a lot of success on the T side and not as much on the CT side. The one thing going for Portugal is that they had that back and forth on the CT side at the start of the half. That's only something Kazakhstan could dream of at the moment. But the back in towards the AWP for Pumpkin. This first should be free, and it is. Gets it, gets out. That's as good as it gets. The spam nearly gets a second there from Blackmagic. As he runs out of ammo, he'll dip his head back in. The flashes are excellent. How are we still alive backside there? Not any longer, because Pumpkin kills Neelan. He's a threat to everybody in the server, his own team included. But he makes up for it. 2 kills to his name, a third onto us was IGL. But it's a round 1 for Kazakhstan. And they will lock themselves in towards double digits.
Great call there from Pumpkin to take that first pot shot. Not get greedy. I see so many operas try to take a re-peek. He falls all the way back to Temple, allows for his rifle and Black Magic from Donut to strike.
Yeah.
And as soon as that happens, both of the players fall all the way back. The flashes are beautiful. Neelan gets primed and ready. In Portugal, just bleed out on the A site. Double digits, as you mentioned, found now. And Portugal looking to speed up this initial phase of defaulting as they find mid control and a little bit of lane pressure as well.
I'm just brainstorming a Kazakhstan super team in my mind. Neelan on the calling. Black Magic being like a supporting rifler. Icy Vone is my entry. Pumpkin obviously is the AWPer, right? And then...
You gotta get Hobbit.
Yes, of course, yeah, Hobbit. Oh, beautiful. What a team. I'm saying, that's... they'll do more than like a unity at the RMR, you know what I mean? That's the way I'm seeing them. They're like a sleeper, maybe go 2 and 2 type vibe.
Scare a phase.
Yeah, like get
shaky.
a best of 1 against phase, which means absolutely nothing type vibe.
Yeah.
Or like beat a Fnatic, or like a best of 1. And then end up being forgotten. Sort of what Bait did for the last 2 RMRs, basically.
5v5 retake here, and Rafa finds his. Puts
Brilliant.
a little bit more onto the CTs, but yeah, great lineup from Defizer. Brings it back to an even keel. Here comes that retake.
Big flank coming through as well, but it's on a bit of a clock here. They've got to actually get moving. It's Black Magic trying to get in behind. They have 2 kits to work with, and that's when they start to pop up. Black Magic, Neelan do so well.
Wow.
That is actually excellent. What a retake. That, for me, feels like probably the best round of Counter-Strike we've actually seen today. That was excellently played. Everything that they could have done right, they do right. In that retake, they only use 1 person. The flank timing is excellent. He's making a move with about 55% of that bomb still left to go. It gets a big kill in towards Cave, turns him around as well, so he stops focusing on the entrance where the other 2 make a move in. That, for me, is absolutely excellent.
You're telling me this team has never played with each other before?
There is no... There's no way in how a team with this level of protocols have never played together.
I think the cohesion, the ideas as to how they want to approach that, those are all subconscious. I mean, you can call maybe 1 to 2 pieces of utility on that approach, and that's about it. But
I'll
I mean,
bet
it's
my
just
house
the
on the fact that these guys practice. There's no way in hell they don't. Their protocols are too clean for a side who are considered a mix. They look better than the actual team of Portugal.
Yeah,
The synergy and the cohesion, all these buzzwords I like to use, they're tenfold better on towards Kazakhstan. They actually look more like a unit that we've seen even for the likes of like Serbia or Poland, or also teams as well.
Well, it's last chance now for Portugal to try and claw things back, make it competitive. But right now, Kazakhstan's map pick is looking absolutely sublime. Mid-control found for the T's, but here's the response in kind. Neelan there available as well as Pumpkin, but they all miss their shots.
Yikes.
But Defizer is there to at least pull 1 back, make this a possibility.
Oh.
And Demented nearly lands the headshot as well. Portugal, still, you gotta consider them to convert this and pull this into an 8th though.
Yeah, just with how low Defizer is, it makes this really difficult. They do still have 2 kits. And it is a 3 versus 3. Make that 2. Oh no. Portugal, this is a 5 versus 3 essentially that we've let slip away from us. One of them was a quick trade, but even still, this felt like it should have been a round converted. Snappy will move back in towards Jag, pushing forward in towards Cave. And he's actually getting a lot of space here. 2v3, time ticking, 40 seconds. We're grouping up, playing this buddy system. It's 2 players sort of here, but Dementor does so well. Still, look at the HP. 16 and 17 respectively for Defizer and Dementor. Black Magic's still alive. This is a guy who's on an incredible map. TMKJ for the first, but he's still not confident about the plant, and he gets spammed down. What a round coming through from the Kazakhstan side, and that's 12 for them. They've just looked excellent. There's, like I said, there is no way in hell these guys don't prac. There's just no way. They're so clean.
It feels so good to watch cohesive Counter-Strike like this. Genuinely. I mean, just the way, in the fashion in which they're winning these rounds that
I feel like I'm watching Primus Tralis.
No, okay, well, let's hold on, man. Let's hold on there. But it just feels like they are winning these rounds not off the back of necessarily individual brilliance, but just smart team play. It's tough to ask for with the mix, but they're showing it.
You know, they've got these 2 standouts of Black Magic and Elin, and it's not like we're saying, like we were with Friend, where it's like if Friend doesn't play well, they're not going to win type vibe. Everyone's having their moments, everyone's having their bits in the spotlight, and it's working. And we know that they can turn rounds on their head from a non-disadvantaged situation. Crazy, going 1 for 1. I like this angle by Pumpkin. How quick can he hit that shot? Flashbang. Does avoid it quite well, but he does spot the bomb crossing over. The rifle could do a lot of damage here. Pumpkin gets caught as well. 2 versus 2, Defies denies that plant. Looks for another shot, he's running low on ammo, drops a flash and the smoke to give him time to reload. This is quite well done, but he tries to tuck his head. He should have just stayed crouched over towards the box, but he didn't know. And he puts it all onto Dementor. Not exactly had a lights-out performance, but a chance at it, sneaking his way out. There's the first, bomb does go down, but a 1 versus 1, nade banks the wrong way. Maybe Snappy given a bit of a chance here as well, but still, Molotov will clear out that back box, and he knows he's 1 or 2 spots. Is he CT, or is he Donut? Dementor, so well played. Kazakhstan, that is an incredible performance. It may not look it scoreline-wise, but at a 13-7, Black Magic's on nuclear. Neelan's put up numbers, but it's not about the individuals, it's about that team. That was an incredible performance.
Credit to Kazakhstan, man. Genuinely, so much fun to watch this team. We had our doubts, we had our reluctancies about this squad. Having a dominant group stage performance similar to Yash last year, but building upon that in terms of the performance today, showing that they've got depth in terms of the individuals and depth in terms of their team play as well. This is a team that suddenly moves up my power rankings very quickly. Of course, the series is not over yet. We still have that looming question of what Vertigo has to offer. But for right now, in all of my dreams and aspirations, I'm putting them at like that 3-ish mark.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those where I was calling them my dark horse team, but you know, it was kind of just because I caught them in the quals and they were fun to watch. But I would actually probably say that's the best map of Counter-Strike we've seen so far this tournament. For at least what we've seen on broadcast. That was so excellently well played. So really impressed with Kazakhstan. Can they continue it in towards map number 2 is the question. But we'll see what the boys on the desk have got to say breaking down that one.
Yes, indeed, Kazakhstan won map to the good after a stunning T-side to crack open that ancient. They have played a little bit in the group, so I guess we expected a strong performance, but we had some fears maybe on this stage of how they'd look. Fears squashed, guys. They looked great.
Yeah, they did. Luckily, no negative surprises. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the one individual we looked to necessarily perform who did that, but again, somebody else popped up, which was kind of the theme throughout the group stage as well for them. So this is what we were hoping for and kind of what we were expecting given the group stage results. A little bit more of a question mark, obviously, coming into Vertigo later on. But for now, yeah, this looked like a well-drilled team, honestly. And I wouldn't be surprised, obviously we haven't spoken to them yet, but if we were to talk to Neelan, if we asked, did you maybe have a boot camp? Did you maybe, put in some extra time before this event? I would wager that the answer is yes, because they looked like they had way too good of a control of what they were doing, where they had each other at random moments of mid-rounds and whatnot, to not have done that.
Yeah, and it feels like we also saw the benefit. It's like we also saw the benefit of
There we go.
Nealon
Yeah.
here as the in-game leader, just bringing experience to the team, because he had a great map individually and feels like he can actually perform individually at this level, which is exciting because I think Kazakhstan needed that sort of veteran savvy player, that veteran head on the team, which they now have. And it maybe got a little close for a second there, but felt like Kazakhstan were in pretty good control. And even some of these retakes, pretty impressive for me that they were firstly willing to play retake in the first place. We were worried that Kazakhstan might be a team that just constantly want to fight, even when it might not be the best idea. But that was a round where they got an impressive retake. They were willing to sit back, and so signs looking up for Kazakhstan. However, this is the one map where we basically said it wasn't a guarantee they were going to win, but it was close to. We knew that they were good on this map. We knew that this was a strength for them. And we also know that the map pool is the real question for this team. Whenever you have a tournament like this, you can normally get 2 or 3 maps up to a very good level, but we haven't seen them on these other ones, Vertigo and Inferno. I still don't think it's a slam dunk necessarily for Kazakhstan, just because the unknown of those maps is a big question here.
Yeah, again, like Portugal were able to scrape together enough rounds on Ancient to let me believe that they will obviously be able to put up a good fight on Vertigo, as they should, being their map pick. But also, if you were to go into a third map, obviously, the fact that they might not have necessarily the top level individual prowess as some of the players on Kazakhstan have, but again, as a unit, they should be able to string something together that's going to make them competitive. Question is obviously just what Kazakhstan has to offer on Vertigo, because we don't know.
A strong map there also for Dako, aka Black Magic.
Yep.
Another player stepping up. Needless to say, guys, there is depth to this lineup. Everybody can pull their weight.
Yeah, and again, I think it's going to be more of the same needed as well. Vertigo, we've seen this once already, especially talking about Pumpkin before the first map, the fact that, again, he's picking up the op lot here. I'm curious to see if he continues to do so, because, again, Ancient allows for it. Vertigo, a little bit tougher to be an opper, to kind of have the real impact on the game in such a fashion, especially when he has a history of being obviously a phenomenal rifler. So do you just kind of forgo the op entirely on this map, or maybe just let Nealon do it CT side, that type of thing? That's going to be fun to see. Again, a lot of unanswered questions, really, that we're looking forward to get answered as we get further into this. But no doubt that Portugal need to bounce back now. They need to, I guess we assume, we don't speak Portuguese, but there were tensions, you could say, you know, on the stage amongst the Portuguese squad as well. So hopefully that's more of a just like a passionate speech type of thing happening mid-game, and not something else. But they need to reset, and they need to get going for their own map pick.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do feel as though in this matchup, the nice thing for Kazakhstan is I don't think there's a massively strong AWPing presence on Portugal for them to be too scared of. And that's something, if they do get further in the tournament, that might be concerning for them, because you're right. I don't think Pumpkin was able to do too much here. I mean, he didn't have to, you could argue, but I don't think he's going to be the sort of AWPer we see consistently taking over maps like a Hyped, for example, who we saw be great. So yeah, Vertigo, big question mark. I still kind of expect this to go 3. You know, Portugal weren't great there, but we expect Kazakhstan to be a completely different team on these maps where they're not comfortable.
Okay, Portugal needs to get a lid on their frustrations. Vertigo up next. Win this or go home. Let's see what happens.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. We've just had probably what feels like one of the best maps of Counter-Strike. I think it's probably the best map of Counter-Strike we've had so far this tournament. Kazakhstan look incredible. This is a side with, out of shadow of doubt, let's get this notion out of the way, they're not a mix. There's no way. Not a team with that level of protocols, the default's so perfect, the cohesion, all these words that we like to talk about. That is a side that had a lot of their sleeve. And when you look towards Vertigo, there's a lot to like. We had this discussion, you were talking about that side. Vertigo's a pretty easy map to call on.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, on cohesion, you think about that 4 or that 5v5 retake on the B bomb site.
Incredible.
And genuinely, like, it comes down to instinct there and repetition. And that just leans more and more into the fact that I think this team is very well equipped to potentially go all the way. And I think that Kazakhstan is under that impression as well, that they think that they can.
Yeah, I mean, they're still yet to drop a map. So I wouldn't be surprised if confidence is at a bit of an all-time high right now. And I mean, the way they're playing, you actually just start to really believe. This is such good Counter-Strike. So let's see if it continues. This isn't their map pick. So that's maybe potentially the first time we actually see them have a little bit of pressure on their shoulders. In the quals, I don't think they played this map. I think it was primarily Ancient and Inferno. Let's see. 1 for 1. Peach will get one of his own, but Pumpkin! Oh, he carves them out as he gets 2. And that gives the numbers once again in Kazakhstan's favor. This is big. There's no kit here on the retake. They actually really want to fight towards Rafa, and it's a fight which goes so well. Pumpkin is a player, and a very good one at that. Last man of Crazy has been spotted out, and they might just swing for the hills to try and fight him. Now, they don't need to. I think the way to play this is to be a little bit more disciplined, but he's gone. Crazy's keeping all of the armor.
Give him an individual round, why don't you? Pumpkin just racks him up here. And they get to start on that offense, and look, it is the situation where they're starting on the side in which we have the most questions about.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I always like an underdog, you know, if they've not played it before, to set the pace of the game.
Yes, absolutely.
They don't let the play come to them. They can, you know, really suss out everything a little bit to their own speed.
I feel like this is the real test of the metal. How good actually are you? T-side Vertigo. Go and enjoy the worst map in the pool, the map that, without a doubt, is probably going to get dropped sooner rather than later. Is probably the next out of the pool.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know, but that's the expectation. No one's enjoying this map, not at a pro level, not at a casual level either. So for us, that makes us feel like this is the real one, the real test. We've gone for that force buy for Portugal. They didn't do it last map. Well, I guess wanted to try and gamble a little bit here. Let's see. Molotov thrown from the safe location over towards sandbags. And no tick means they know nobody's there. So that makes them think, okay, no sandbags player, no one fought us top ramp. Now they have. Where are they? They know who one is. Pumpkin continues his reign, 4-0.
They spotted the Crane player, and they spotted, or at least heard the boost as well.
Yes.
And because of that, they're immediately responding by taking stairs control. This is a team that genuinely has the protocols in place. And Nealon will come back to re-clear, and he'll find Snappy as well, a little lax in terms of the clear there from the opposing IGL. And now Kazakhstan have got a lot of options. They can go back up through to the B stairs, or they can complete out the round on A. They'll go for the former. Rafa will get a little bit of instant information, and that should prioritize Crazy on this MP9.
Flash, he's actually really good in response though from TMK. Hey, he's right in front of you. Through that wood. One gun is definitely the preference. That's the AK-47, but 1 versus 2. However, they've already got the sight. Nealon, he's hightailing it, bomb on his back, and it will be planted with plenty of time. And not something, unfortunately, that can be denied on the other side. You might even just keep on to the AK if you're Rafa here. They forced bought, it's not gone well. Just have something to work with in towards round number 3.
Yeah, he's got a kit and a smoke and armor.
He's not taking any damage.
He's gotten everything that he could ask for, but the only thing that he doesn't have is time. He basically collected that rifle all the way to the bottom of B stairs, walked all the way back into CT spawn, and that shaved off 60% of the bomb.
Yep.
So genuinely doesn't have a lot of time, and he's actually having a look in here. Now it's a little too late. You have no idea if they've slunk off into the heavens. And sure, he gets a parting kill onto Nealon, but the damage is already done. The T side have now logged their second round.
Oh,
and he actually
no.
won't even be able to hold on to that rifle either.
Yeah, he had no idea if they were actually going to exit via ramp. So he didn't actually want to push over towards either ladder or over towards stairs, because you're thinking, if they have push ramp, that would be holding for me. So that's a bit difficult. 2-0 start for Kazakhstan. Fell force by means that Portugal can't bring a lot to the table here. Means it should be a 3-0 start. That's pretty good T-side. If Kazakhstan even just gets 6 rounds T-side, they might already be on track to taking this 2-0.
Yeah, genuinely. I think the thing about Vertigo is it's I don't really know if I consider it T or CT sided at this point. It's just such a weird map with all the changes that have come through, you know? I mean, in some situations you have a lockdown B defense and the CT side looks sublime. In other situations, both anchors on both sides of the map can't hold anything and the T side looks just squeaky clean. Genuinely, there isn't an identity to this map anymore.
No. Hence why it has to go.
Yes, I'm
It's
100%
terrible.
with you. Look, I've got Vertigo enthusiasts telling me that they hate this map.
Yeah. I mean, we used to basically be one of our perma plays.
Yes, that was one of like 3 maps that we would rotate
like that.
regularly.
Dust 2 when it was
Mirage.
before Mirage, yeah. We were like ban Inferno. But I gotta say, I was super sad when Overpass got taken out. I loved Overpass. I thought at a pro level was really fun. Even though it was like so heavily CT sided, I thought it actually put so much onus on what
Good
made
T-side
a good
calling.
T-side. Yeah, exactly. So I liked it because it was intricate, where Dust 2 feels very, well, it felt very played when it first came in. I will say that now it's starting to come a little bit more depth of field there, but Vertigo really is just so iffy for me. And you know, it's something that we speak about at the top level, where it is worrying when your perma play is Vertigo for me. Like Complexity have this issue. Your perma pick is Vertigo.
Yeah,
Like who do you even practice against?
Genuinely, it's so difficult to get clear intel on that map.
Yeah.
And clearly for Portugal, they've gone for that same level of risk, right? They've gone in for this Verti pick just because of the lack of detail for Kazakhstan.
Speaking of risk, look at the risk that Portugal taking. Look how much util they've got.
Yeah.
We've got 3 smokes for the rest of the round.
Yeah.
They can't even actually feint presence somewhere. They've actually got to hold them for the most part for retakes.
Well, Nobi just heard a little bit, so at the very least they've got a sound cue that they can work off
There's
of.
one.
Double nades to come in through the sandbags, not confirming any kills either. 40 seconds left on the clock, and now Kazakhstan are poised and ready to try and commit to this A play. 3 players here for the CTs. Can they respond with Rafa's AWP?
This is tough. Oh, he almost comes to the worst time. Oh, the Pumpkin deletes him. Oh, Pumpkin. Oh, I love him. What a player. What a player, man. He's so fun to watch. And the third should be there as well. Just waiting for him to come down this corner. T-Smoke going to go out in front as well to limit no Peach. And, you know, credit to him, Pumpkin doesn't actually have to fight in that spot. So he just dips away. Device will get caught. This is maybe a doable 2 versus 2. And now actually a lot more pressure back onto Pumpkin. He's playing up close, and I like this angle. If he can hold it down to stop any of that presence over towards Rafters, then it becomes so strong. And Pumpkin's timing is absolutely excellent. Tap on towards the bomb. 1 up close, and Neelan confirms the last. It's just so fun to watch. It puts a smile on my face. I feel like I'm watching really good Counter-Strike.
I mean, it's a 3-stack into the A side, and we commend the strategy of how Neelan has been calling, but this time around, it shows that individual flair as well. Pumpkin ripping an AWP's head off that quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, as an operator, all you can do is take your hands off the keyboard and kind of shrug your shoulders and say, what can I do?
Yeah.
What can I do when a player like that's running at me? And I don't even get traded, right? Like, but my teammate in that situation also just falls instantaneously.
He's 8-1.
My God.
Oh, what a player. What a player, man. And the fact that he's so good on both the AWP and the rifle is actually the thing that is so fun to watch. It's one of those ways, not kind of those players who is an AWPer, and when he has a rifle, he has to go and pick up the AWP. He's like, at the moment, I'm cooking on an AK. Let me just keep it. I don't need the AWP.
Yeah, I mean, these
not T-side AWPing either.
Right, yeah. I mean, these new gen players that are trying to adopt the AWPing role have to be good rifles. It's a requirement at this point, not even a recommendation.
You have to be a top player in hybrid. Like,
genuinely.
That's why Monacy and Zywoo are so good, because they're so good on both.
Right, yeah. And it's something that some of these players are going to have to learn the hard way, and I'm liking that Pumpkin is flexing that rifling prowess as well. Still on one here, utilizing it as a sniper in some senses, holding the similar angles.
Yeah.
but gets information. Oh, but Black Magic on the other end cannot convert on the 5-7. A little weird situation there, but 5v4 for Portugal nonetheless.
Probably the first glaring error that we've actually seen out from Black Magic. He had an incredible first map. He was top fragging, real decent numbers all the way throughout, incredible KD as well, but first kind of true mistake we sort of seen out from him. They're going to go for that short boost up close, and this is actually, if he pushes Rafters here, he's going to get both. He should get both, and he will. Oh, that's so good on the timing. A little bit fortunate that they drop at that sort of time, and the flashbang from Dementa is so good as well. Neelan continues pushing the pressure here as well, and that's it. You've got to save once again. You can't afford to lose this Deagle and this rifle. They might have just continue hunting. Neelan, what are we doing? We're in the flames. Even he's laughing.
I will say, like, Molotovs in this game, like, I feel like they just go on for like 2 to 3 ticks longer.
Yeah. Well, they made them so much weaker than the T-side ones.
Right, but still.
I've even started seeing these days in Tier 2 where the second a T-side molly's thrown down, CTs go through it. They purpose, because they know they're only going to take like 18 points of damage. They're like, who cares? Like, you know, as long as I can hit my shot.
Very interesting situation now for Portugal, getting themselves a man advantage from Crazy.
They can buy though.
Yeah, that is true.
No,
but
Peach can drop, so it's okay.
Think about the circumstance now, right?
Yeah.
It's you're 5-0 in the hole. You are getting rinsed from the calling department. You are getting rinsed mechanically as well. And I can't even, like, we've raved about Kazakhstan across this series so far. I have not necessarily found a player to hang my hat on in the Portugal camp to kind of celebrate right now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. We just haven't seen it. In the quals, I was really impressed with, in particular, Snappy and Crazy, and both of them look really weak at the moment, unfortunately. In our play, there's Crazy though. He'll step up for one, but it's very quickly traded. It seems like spam through the smoke there by Black Magic. The visor falls short, but it's not a huge problem. Pumpkin dropping like that might be. However, Neelan did have to do something kind of special, and he does get pincered. He doesn't actually know where to go. Timing for Dementa is actually incredibly good for him, because now this mid angle becomes super strong. It might not get cleared. Thankfully, Snappy just does a bit of due diligence, and he reclaims that space that Rafa left.
A lot of timings there trying to be taken from Kazakhstan, and, you know, genuinely, if they do pull that off, I think it's just GG.
Yeah.
But Portugal finally cross a hurdle here, get some players online, put a little bit more fear into Kazakhstan, and, you know, it's not a lot of fear. It's probably like 2 to 3%, but it demands a little bit of respect from them.
Yeah.
At the very least, to slow down these defaults and look back to what's been working, and that's just that methodical map control that they've been taking at the bottom of the B stairs and clearing out the ramp late as well.
TMKJ should be in the spot to clear this out. He's got head armor, so he can take a tink, and he can take a clean fight. Smoke up in his face, 25 seconds to do a real awkward thing. Black Magic might want to go through this. Spot another, but he only gets a bit of a tag on towards no Peach. Portugal finally find a round. And it's a bit of a sigh, thinking, okay, we can compete in gun rounds. The only thing that would absolutely kill them here is if we finally get a gun round on the board and then immediately lose straight off the back of it, because it means you just don't get any of that momentum.
Yeah, but you cross the very marginal, small threshold of it's just contact plays. It's not a true. It's a very gimmicky round that they're hoping that they can get across the line. Now they've got to overcome a much more standard default, and we'll see whether or not they can handle this. They're still not out of the woods just yet here. A long road to recovery, and now Neelan's getting frisky in side hall. Minute 35, and he's starting to already hug the tarp. How aware is TMKJ that this is a fight that's possible? Very. As he gets that opening 5v4. Much better here from Portugal on the A end.
Yeah, they're looking a little bit more confident, just taking 8 joules. Oh my god, that was a little dicey for a second. A good work for TMKJ off the back of that molly. Little re-peek, he's hurt. A little bit of a tick in that Molotov too. Panic stations as he goes to fight, and he actually comes up really well. That's a fantastic round for him. He's shut down a really difficult position, and isolated 3 separate fights very, very well.
Yeah, he's playing the win there. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that Portugal have been struggling to do. You know, they get a 5v4. They're very willing to just kind of rest on their laurels in certain situations, and that's how they've lost 5 rounds, is by being very static in how they play off of
Yeah.
these man advantages. But in this case, TMKJ says, I'm going to take the matter into my own hands. He plays ahead of his own incendiary. No way Kazakhstan is expecting that. They're expecting, you know, we'll be able to reset, claim ramp control, and maybe execute off of it. But he continues to shave bodies, continues to make it uncomfortable. And now they've crossed another threshold. One in which they've denied ramp control for pretty much the first time, I'd say legitimately. And Neelan will now be called upon to come up with a solution. How do you adapt past the initial adaptation from Portugal?
It's true. It is so uncomfortable in terms of how we're actually going to go about this. Just because now we have a weird set of money. Like, we have enough money to buy, and we basically have to buy because Dementa's in double eco. So they don't really get a choice here, but at the same time, they still have the facilities to be able to do so. They had like 8 and 6K respectively across Neelan and Pumpkin. So it means they do get the buy across the board. Not enough for the AWP, but of course they're doing their best work in the rifles, so maybe that's understandable why they want to keep this going. It's only a couple of rounds in a row for Portugal. I'm interested as well. We've been hearing the shouts over towards the backstage as Alta Attacks and Nexus are still playing, i.e. Germany and Romania. Let me see how that map number 2, because they finished their map number 1 very quickly. They're in map 2 right now. If it'll load.
Kazakhstan now in this default, looking for any bit of an extra edge, and Neelan again getting active here on the ramp, this time completely silently. TMKJ, this head-to-head has been a very key one, and he comes out the better once again.
Yeah, really well played. Another game too. Nexus 9-8 up on alternate attacks' map pick. So Romania might be pushing that one to a map 3, maybe. Portugal can only dream of that right now. They haven't shown us enough that gives us a chance. Pumpkin. Waiting. He's just expecting a bit of that top aggression. But they didn't for the entire time clear sandbags. No peach didn't peak for so long. Until the 40-second mark. At that point, the timing was perfect. They just weren't expecting it. Rafa finds them entering towards mid. This feels like it should be done here. Molly over. And the Pfizer of him already being tagged up and getting the leads like that. That is a simple round put on the ball by Portugal. That's actually a really, really nicely played one. Every player sort of has their moment. They're on track as well for that team ace of Crazy. Can get one of his own. He's in the right spot for it.
Yeah, much better rounds here from Portugal. You're just seeing a lot more effort to take aim duels. And I think they were very against that in a lot of ways on Ancient. Now showcasing why this 5-man unit was put together in the first place.
Yeah.
You know? And we spoke about some of the cohesion issues and them having to learn how to play together.
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, no, Peach has been in this team for like...
This iteration, not very much.
Yeah, yeah.
They played 3 best-of-3s prior to this tournament, as far as officials go.
And 5 best-of-1s, yeah.
Yeah, and so realistically, the map pool is very worrying. And you've had a firepower hit in losing a Gil, and we see what great work he's already done to Saw.
Yeah, Gil looks super solid on Saw. You got to give him his credit.
And that has really hampered Portugal here. So, what can they do? Can they find a way to reclaim that sort of lost cohesion? Possibly.
We have a hero AK on Black Magic, or a hero saved AK, I guess you could probably put it. If anyone's going to wield it, though, I probably would have it on him, especially considering that map 1 before Mernty shoots on the Shadow and on that HE that does a very decent chunk of damage. But Pumpkin's got no armor, and now he's dead. But he had already taken more than 80 points. The fighter still finds money. That's a Glock warbang headshot. I don't even know where that was. Must have been Tarp, I guess.
Okay, yeah, Tarp also is a possibility. Black Magic has boosted onto that box like twice now.
Yeah.
And he's seen nothing. He's seen the shoulder of Rafa, and that's about it.
Do you know what, though? Maybe for Kazakhstan, and I guess primarily for Neelan, he might be able to say, okay, well, they're actually not aggressing mid that much. They're actually giving us a lot of space there. If we can maybe drop like a CT smoke or an elevator smoke, we actually might be able to do a little bit of something crazy. He needs to be super careful.
Oh.
He gets dinked. That's put him under a bit of pressure. He could get wrapped, and Neelan hit a blinder of a shot, but no Peach and Crazy combined so well. There was a moment that felt really uncomfortable. Thankfully, it feels like it shouldn't be any more. 1 versus 3, time ticking, sub 20, and Defiance have got to do God's work in this spot. The smoke towards his right, open space towards the left, but doesn't have the bomb, so I mean, what can we actually even do? I think he, again, just has to save on the back of timing because that bomb got dropped.
That's brutal there for Defizer, and brutal for Neerlin as well after he hits that beautiful shot into CT. And you're right, you know, even with Portugal claiming that round, you've got to wonder how they're approaching the middle of the map. Rafa is giving a lot of room, and there's this middle of mid smoke that teams like to throw, that T-side likes to throw, to really cause some doubt in their minds. And that's when you can get the scales into heaven and potentially split into B very effectively. Think about that as far as the half continues to develop and whether or not they can use that later on.
Very true. Magic gonna go. Rango is hoping for a bit of aggression downstairs. Not something that Portugal are doing a hell of a lot. Like I said, Portugal, the best work from them, this play that we've seen kind of TMKJ in particular, over towards top has been very, very strong.
Very, very much so.
He's doing a really, really good job of just, well, I guess doing his job in the sense of we only really want him or need him to go 1 for 1, but anything more is kind of the cherry on top, and he's doing a fantastic job of just making sure that Kazakhstan can't get this ramp control, so they're forced to look elsewhere. Then they go towards mid, that's where Rafa's stepping up. If they dip back over towards that at B, I mean, we're seeing kind of Crazy have his moments as well, so just one man's presence towards a very, very influential position is completely changing the narrative of how Kazakhstan want to play.
Ramp has gotten much more difficult as time has gone on now for CTs, and now instead they're going to go towards B, and Pumpkin has found his man. Crazy falls, and so does Snappy, and yet one more hits the deck in TMKJ. The rotation is swift, but Pumpkin is swifter.
They're out of it. I don't blame them. Oh, AK, just going to stay alive. I think it's the right call. Rafa will at least get a consolation. But it's a Pumpkin 3K. Now again, a Pumpkin 3K is not something we can always rely on. However, we know what this guy's got up his sleeve, so we can even get him just getting 1 or 2 kills around. It puts up so much of that kind of worry in towards the minds of this Portuguese side. They will save the AWP, they will save the AK. That's good, but it's not even kind of a make or break saving those guns. They've got so much residual cash that, for the most part, they're fine. So all in all, still a 2-round buffer, but still maybe something on the cards. That map between Germany and Romania feels like it's going the distance. Romania have got in towards double digits though, so
they're always good to make a best of 3
go all 3.
competitive. Yeah, guaranteed.
The Nexus special, we call that one.
Absolutely. We've seen that one quite a number of times.
Yeah.
But
let's see who's doing well. BTN doing well. Lead my example. That's my IGL.
Kazakhstan now spamming through smoke, seeing if they can get lucky. You've got to try it at least once, but nothing actually landing. No damage done across the board at 1:15. And Neelan is very okay with just pausing these troops, finding some heads across the map, and putting his players into place. Defizer will find some first contact on the stairs, but it's Demente to open up the ramp side of things. And
That's
now
good.
they'll just walk right behind it.
Yeah, exactly, because Portugal actually now, they actually really can't afford to re-aggress at the moment. They've got to hope that there's the opportunity, at least a kill and the ability to fall away. I don't think they can rely on somebody going for a 2 for 1 here. Lesnar Peas gets an isolate to fight. That's exactly how you want to play it. Get a kill, get out. And this now allows you to reset the round a little bit. Sweet. Just as smoke was going up, Pumpkin goes a little bit too early. Hence why he gets caught again by No Peach. Numbers do flip. Look, there's been some serious damage dealt. Rafa's not exactly healthy. I know Peach might be at the chance for another. He's on a pretty strong angle. Black Magic lining up ahead, does well. The spam is close. This is awkward though. They're sort of stuck between a rock and a hard place. They don't know where to play, and Crazy gets both. So it's Demento who started this round, who now has to finish it in a 1 versus 2.
Kits up. Molly as well. They've cleared out sandbags. They know he's around the area. And oh my goodness, Crazy's gonna stick it. He's gonna just try to go all the way through with this defuse. And Dementor's giving up a spot, and he's got the player off the bomb, I thought. But it was actually Crazy that stuck it, so it works out all in the end. 5 rounds in the last 6 for Portugal, and they've marched right back into competition.
Yeah, credit to them. They look completely out of this game. And now they actually have a really good chance to tie it up at the half. The way they're playing, it feels like they probably should as well. We're still yet to see Ryan saying that pumpkin orb. We haven't seen it T-side at all.
No, I don't think he necessarily have needed to.
It's pretty common as well. It's the worst map to AWP on T-side.
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting those B-stair setups all too often anymore. And they haven't been able to. They've been adding so much pace to these rounds. Look at them just charging up the ramp. Pumpkin will find one. And sure, Demente falls, but you've got a 4v4. You've got mid control and nearly another one there. Crazy's going to fight to the nail for this mid position. And they'll do a little bit more damage on a Black Magic as well.
Yeah, they don't actually have to swing in towards mid. Oh, back spotted towards Jen. Little laboured, but Neelan gets it nonetheless. A lot of damage being dealt towards Kazakhstan here in this 3 versus 3. Neelan, 22 points of HP. Black Magic, 19. So the onus feels like it might be on the Pfizer here. 3 versus 3. 3 kits for Portugal 2. And a fair decent amount of util on that CT side. Feels good. That was very close to going wrong. Thankfully it doesn't. Bomb planted, post plant in the 3 versus 3 as TMKJ starts to make a bit of a move. Head tucked as well for the Pfizer, but it's Neelan the first to fall. The Pfizer will follow, and all onto Black Magic. They now know he's in towards mid. They can probably just stick this bomb too. Takes more damage and plucked out of the sky. Vamos, say Portugal. 6-all. It's a very good recovery.
Everything you could ask for there for Portugal. I mean, really starting to click into place with how they were holding on to ramp there repeatedly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there wasn't really many options for Neelan in the calling department. I mean, sure, Pumpkin was finding you entries, but they never really exploited middle ever again. And they never really found that space that they were looking for on a B-lurk either. So, Portugal find a way to stay within this. And now it theoretically should be the easier time for Neelan in terms of getting these troops in line. Can they do it? Can they close this one out in 2, or does Portugal have a little more something to say?
Yeah, it's true. Just as well as that round was finishing, saw Romania walking outside for a bit of a break, looking quite chipper. Probably because they just took the map as well. Good on them, pushing that one towards a 3rd. They took Germany's map pick. This pistol could be very important. It's 1 for 2 trades in favour of Portugal. Now they can barrel in towards B. He's already present here to meet them.
Pfizer will try to take that opening engagement, but with how quickly he's facing, Portugal is thinking that this rotation must have come throughout all of this, and Crazy is confirming that suspicion. At this point, he can go all the way into the CT spawn, or maybe even just into hell. And now that he's spotted out Neelan, he knows that this part of the map is all for Portugal to take. Crazy would have liked to confirm that kill, and this still makes Kazakhstan in a doable position.
Yeah, no kit and now down to 2 makes it a little harder. TMKJ doesn't want to fight for that second. No Pete! Oh my god, for a moment. It looks worrying, and it won't be as Rafa gets a blinder of a shot at the end there. Fantastic one towards the Pfizer, and we will get now Portugal in a lead. This is pretty insane. They've got 7 out of the last 8 rounds.
First lead of the game, or of the map, I should say. And what a time to do it.
It might even be of the game.
Yeah, you know, you might be right there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was because Kazakhstan got 2 rounds to start off the map 1, and then went back and forth for a bit, and then Kazakhstan ran away with things.
Yeah.
So yeah, first time they took a lead this series.
And now they have a chance to broaden that lead as well. Just a singular deagle purchased by the CT captain. And chance for money to be made here, which between some of these SMGs. And a moment's respite as well for Portugal, as it has been just absolutely frenetic throughout this series.
Nealon. That's Deagle. Got a good angle for it, but they've actually already pushed away in towards the side. And the MAC-10 gets in behind. Oh, that's money. 3 kills the MAC-10 there for Crazy and Snappy. Between the two of them, a lot of cash on hand. The last round of the fight, it doesn't really make a difference whatever he does. He'll be seen off by the Galil. Portugal 2-round buffer. But that was only a low buy, so I guess for the most part, not the most worrying sort of thing in the world. This is the buy that has to really confirm itself for Kazakhstan. If we don't, then it changes things. Then we have to look at it on the flip side and start to talk about how Portugal have a chance of pushing this towards that Inferno. That itself feels like it will be incredibly spicy if we do go towards a third map, especially in the fashion in which Portugal have recovered in towards this map. Kazakhstan, this is a true test of the metal. This is a side who've now lost complete control of momentum. Your opposition are snowballing at a massive rate. Can you actually stop them?
And now in this situation, you've lost ram control straight away. You've had to give it. Didn't have that pumpkin AWP to potentially exert, but they found the opening 5v4. Crazy falls, and now a little bit more pressure put onto Dementa, and he can't find anything. Back at an even keel, and you've got to favor the T's in this situation. So many resources being pumped into holding on to this A site. Portugal, I'd opt in for a pump fake, especially considering no Peaches in the back lines. He's all the way in middle. He's got 2 bodies right in front of him. You capitalize on one, make it a double. And all of a sudden, Portugal are running away with this one, Neo. Wow, and it's starting to get a little loud there in the Portugal camp. They know how much it means in the scope of this best of 3.
Yeah, that's a big, big round to be taken, and it feels like it's all one off no Peach. What a move from him. Timing is absolutely excellent. Something that Kazakhstan had in their favor when they were streaking around the start. It was all about these small little timing plays that they just got to perfection. On the flip side, the Peach is just giving them a taste of their own medicine. So well played, Portugal. This recovery is immaculate. And if this is the form that we're going to have telling this map, if they can transfer this in towards Inferno, Kazakhstan might be on that back foot. We were singing their praises, but they're starting to really dwindle once again in towards a low buy. What can they do? This round, unfortunately, feels like, if being completely honest, not a lot.
Ooh, hold on.
Nice shot.
They do clear out ramp altogether now. And with Black Magic getting flashed to smithereens, he'll call his teammates very quickly. They won't get there fast enough, necessarily. But now they'll be able to duel. The pistols are all here. Crazy's on a quick flank, but Black Magic has found one. It's got to be all into Crazy. And oh my goodness, the triple kill on that flank is everything. It's all into Black Magic. And Portugal dig themselves out of yet another hole.
Yeah, they're getting really loud now as well, which is sort of exactly what we want to see. We want to see Portugal get fired up. It's sort of the same vein when we see those Brazilian teams get fired up, because that's when they do their best work. We've seen it, you know, even recently with teams from that kind of the Iberian region, like when Movistar had their run towards the major, when Saw had their runs throughout this year, when we talk about them kind of Cologne in the top 4, we talk about them going their way through kind of Blast Showdown to the spring finals. You know, these moves is kind of, when they get rolling, they're so difficult to pump the brakes on them, and we're seeing exactly that now. What is it, 10 out of the last 11 rounds, Portugal?
Yeah, genuinely. I mean, it's just been an absolute romp all the way back. And again, ramp control being established here for Portugal with nearly no damage taken. Finally, something goes their way in terms of that grenade, but Dementa has taken this angle multiple times before, and he's gone killless, but finally he converts on a Snappy. But it's all a ruse. It's all a fake. They want to go charging into B, and sure, Black Magic goes 1 for 1, but they're undermanned. They're understaffed at this point, and Portugal have a chance to get another bomb plant.
Crazy spamming. He knows that there's one. Somewhere over towards Rafters, the Pfizer defies logic as he stays alive for that long. He puts no Peach into a 1 versus 4 to 1 versus 3. Finally, for the first time in a while, we might see some success come through for this Kazakhstan side. Will it amount to anything in terms of consistency? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but this one surely got no chance. Got 2 points of HP and seen off by the pistol of Pumpkin. That is big. Well, Kazakhstan, it doesn't matter if it's a flash in the pan. It can't afford to be. We have to get, being honest, at least 2 rounds in a row, if not 3.
You've got to chew through a lot of money as well, so they're going to have to do this comeback in one of the most difficult manners. And you don't even have all the bells and whistles to do so. Defies are on an MP9. But you've still got that pumpkin sniper. I want to see if they can find some sort of initial pressure on a ramp, but in this case, Pumpkin's not starting here either. Portugal a little bit slower to boot on this end. Means that the CT side has a little bit more room to breathe, especially considering Rafa won't be able to find anything once that nade gets kicked open. Twice.
Yeah, nothing there. Very passive setup by Kazakhstan in this round, though. You know, we saw how Portugal, even though it wasn't always successful, they love to fight in towards ramp. TMKJ, we spoke by him in through top. That's a nice shot. Pumpkin, he was waiting for that play, and it eventually comes gifted over towards him. And he just dips away. He knows he was the only presence there, so gets his kill, falls back, and doesn't have to stick around in terms of a dedicated mid-hold here. Can go and bolster up that B site if he wants to. Or rotate over to join A if any more presence shown. Timing of that smoke's good. It means that Snappy probably just has to join the pack here in towards a direct ramp play. What is the setup? Rafa's got an advanced angle, back spotted. Dementa in a bit of no man's land. The boost nearly works against him. Dylan nearly gets caught from the side as well. He gets bailed out by Pumpkin with the AWP. And smoke down as well will limit them. A lot of you to be burnt in here, but 1-for-1 trades always going to benefit the side of Kazakhstan. Maybe not so much anymore, as Rafa's still doing fantastic work. Dylan taken. Not Dylan, Pumpkin, may I say, taking a bit of damage. The fighter tapping away. Bomb still going to go down. Upgrade to an AK. Orp. Another AK in this play. Still waiting. Orp is holding, waiting for a peek on the corner. Rafa not committing towards it. And doesn't even really know that a pistol alone could be enough to kill out Rafa Hayes. All that's left in this 1 versus 2. 3 points of HP. Surely it's going to be Kazakhstan finding it, and they will. The main thing for Portugal, because they've still got so much money, or they've got enough money left over, a bomb plant and the kills they get still keeps a lot of pressure on Kazakhstan.
Yeah, this is the buy 100%, even though there'll be some concessions to be made for Rafa, considering these continuous op investments. It's still worth it. Kazakhstan are not out of the woods just yet. You've got the proper players waking up, though. Pumpkin with some important rotations in from middle into CT. And you're starting to see a little bit more unification here from Kazakhstan. Faster tempo now in mid, though. How anticipated is Pumpkin? Very.
Oh.
And he somehow makes it out. Beautiful little movement there to capitalize.
He's so lucky that he gets out of there alive. Literally, if he was a step behind, he dies.
Yeah.
Pumpkin to get on the entries. All we really need to talk about Kazakhstan taking this map now is Black Magic just stepping up a little bit more. Oh my god. He gets the kill. It's okay, guys. He didn't take any damage, that's fine. But it was a little nervy. 3 versus 5. And he took out that concession for Rafa. Unfortunately, both of those guns are unrecoverable for him.
That's brutal, man. They're trying so hard to make these contact plays work, but so far, at least right now in these last 2 rounds, Kazakhstan have found those holes and plugged them as soon as possible. And they're going to try this again, Portugal, this time through their own B smoke. And they've got a flash as well from Rafa. A little bit of pressure applied, but Neelan finds his. Still a man advantage in the side of the CTs. And as they start to cut down space, TMKJ will make it an even keel 2v2.
Tap away in that close smoke. TMKJ stays alive, though. I mean, luckily, he is low. That's an angle that was nearly opening up. Oh! TMKJ! Hello! That is such a good 2-piece. Smiles across their face, but Portugal get loud. A round that felt lost, recovered with just such a nice double deagle there. And Portugal now only 2 away, and they're going to call a timeout to make Kazakhstan sit on that.
Man, I mean, I was going to honestly talk down to that contact play, but the difference in that situation is you've got a cracker of a flashbang, and it completely blinds the back lanes of that B bomb
Yeah.
side. The Jenny player and that Heaven. So the Jenny player has to fight. He dies. The Heaven player gets blind and says, "I'll give some space." There's no way there's a player in the back lanes. And then he takes an unfavorable duel. It's beautiful how $200 changes the scope of that round entirely. And now, look at what that has done to Kazakhstan. No AWP for Pumpkin, and 2 SMGs for Demente and Black Magic. They're going all in here in round number 20. And if they can't convert, we're looking at Inferno for this final quarterfinal.
Yeah, it's the gamble. It is the all-in call on the poker table. It's the now or never. High risk, high reward. Let's see if it pays off. Ramp pressure, trading nades, doing minimal damage both ways. Snappy moving his way forward. He avoids that Molotov. Pumpkin. Oh wait, hang on a second. How is Pumpkin just pushed through?
No way.
He just pushed mid, he didn't stop once.
Yeah, but they haven't cleared out the stairs, so he's gonna have to go all the way throughout
Yeah.
that part of the map.
He's going the wrong way.
And by then it might be too late.
No, he's doubling back towards ramp. Because of this pressure, that's a great flash. But it actually only nets 1 kill.
He's been
and
red.
Pumpkin gets found as well, so that's it. This should be the 12th now. It's 2 remaining, 1 in P9, 1 in 4, and they got 1 smoke. They haven't even got a kit.
Well, Crazy and company are not backing out in this situation. They're still considering the A hit, but now as they continue to rot the clock off, do they want to switch back is the question. Defizer shows his face though, and that should make that decision just a little bit easier. And TMKJ, he has had a hell of a good amount of impact in these last couple of rounds. Double deagle to end the previous, and now a double kill to end round number 20.
I mean,
Looks like Inferno is looming here.
we spoke about Black Magic and his sort of impacting towards map number 1. TMKJ has done arguably as good in this one. He's looked incredible all the way throughout. The impact he's getting in a lot of these rounds has been so solid. He's so confident as well. 12-8. Kazakhstan, they just let too many rounds go in a row. I mean, what was it? It was like 12 out of 11 rounds they won in very quick succession. And unfortunately, Kazakhstan just couldn't break the mold. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it with this one. MP9s for the most part.
Here.
Double FAMAS.
Yeah. That's the real sick to your stomach feeling that you get if you're Kazakhstan, having that as your primary weapon. Snappy is somehow faded through the smoke, and the captain now icing out Kazakhstan here on Vertigo. And he's taking it one step further. He's gotten all the way into the spawn, and he'll find yet another. Pumpkin hits the deck. It's just SMGs to keep Kazakhstan's hopes alive here in map number 2, but very slim margins now for error. And it looks like there's just a little bit more life in the Iberian region here, Neo.
That's a beaut from TMKJ, that flash. Crazy just gets gifted a freebie. Black Magic is looking for a consolation. Some sort of a stat to help him out, but this one is done. And they do it flawlessly as well, which is actually how a lot of those gun rounds felt for the most part. Really, really comfortable Counter-Strike from Portugal. And you can see how relieved they are to keep this series alive. Especially the way that map number 1 was very rough, right? I don't think we saw really anything that gave us any sort of hope for Portugal. That's a complete flip. And now we're going to look at this series as completely open. Inferno, I mean, it's arguably one of the Puggers' paradise. It's such an even map where it does come down to individuals. It's a chance, I think, for Portugal to actually cause what feels actually a bit of an upset.
Listen, I want to still give a slight edge to Kazakhstan just because of that Neelan factor. But the fact of the matter is here on Vertigo specifically, we just saw a rejuvenated Portugal. And to me, that is exciting. That shows that there's a lot of capabilities here for that third map to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, I'm hoping for it. That is the big thing. We're going to let this one to the desk for a little bit. Before we set up for that map number 3 of Inferno, it's anybody's game as we go what is basically a best of 1.
Yes, indeed, we're all tied up as the Portuguese squad comes very good on Vertigo. A big streak of rounds for them as well towards the end to close it out. We expected them to be more comfortable here. They looked more comfortable. Vertigo was the right map pick, guys.
Yeah, they got the same kind of effect that we saw Poland have in their matchup. They got the punish pick that they needed, and yeah, I guess we we're exposed to some of the weaknesses of this Kazakhstani squad, which is understandable as well. CT sides might be difficult on certain technical maps. It was definitely an issue here on Vertigo, and I think also for the T side, you could say that there wasn't too much behind it. A lot of it was kind of just Pumpkin, can you get us 3 openings, and we run with that. And it did take them, you know, a certain distance, but it's going to be hard to win matches like that.
Yeah, it still gives me a good bit of promise, though, actually, for this third map on the Kazakhstan side, because I kind of expected this to be a map they looked really uncomfortable on and just got blown out on. So the fact that on a map we didn't expect much of them, they were still able to have the individual impact from Pumpkin and Nilan, that actually is a promising sign for me going into this Inferno decider. I think that suggests that even though they're uncomfortable on this map, they're able to show up. I suggest that they should be able to do even better on this final one. So considering the circumstances, they made this somewhat close, especially with that strong start in the first half. I don't think it's too bad for them. At the same time, Portugal finally had some players show up and really stand out above the rest of the squad, which we haven't seen so far. Nope just very consistently picking up the frags. And then at the end there, TKMJ, whatever the hell his name is, he got a couple of nice headshots and a couple of big rounds. That one with the Deeg on the B site, I'm not entirely sure how he did it. I think that was a big reaction from him too, because I don't think he quite knew how it happened. But his aim was looking very sharp, and he was getting those headshots at the end there. So thankfully, we saw some of the individuals show up for Portugal, and that does set up an exciting third map.
This Portugal team still confuses me because I look at them and I say, who are the star players here supposed to be? I look at their games in online events coming into this, looks like it's crazy, looks like it could be the AWPer, and then we come into this, the AWPer and Snappy, and we come into this and it's like, it's some more of the supportive riflers that are having the best games. So, not to say that's a problem, but it's not what I'm used to. I'm used to knowing coming into games who's being set up for frags, seeing them perform. For them at the moment, it's a bit more kind of obscured.
Yeah, it really is, and it makes you wonder whether or not it's obviously the supportive riflers who are overperforming, or if it's kind of the supposed stars who are going missing. I'd obviously rather have the first one, that my teammates are doing better than they normally do, and I don't really have to have that much output kind of a thing. It's much worse if your assumed star rifler is just not there, because that's going to lead to problems down the road when things normalize. So for Portugal, I guess it's a good thing that we've seen more and more out of them. I think even Rafa, yeah, as you mentioned, had a pretty decent game here on Vertigo, which is obviously nice going into Inferno, even though it is a tougher map to op on. But yeah, no, it's been hard to find that solidified star for Portugal that you can kind of go into a map and be like, yeah, no, he's going to get you at the very least 20. Like, he's going to make this competitive. Yeah. So far, it's been nope, and that's not what I had on my bingo card. So we'll see if he can do it for, you know, yet another map. Obviously, it will be needed for Portugal.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel great when you have a team that should be somewhat structured and should have some solid like fundamentals, and we still just don't know who should show up. Like that doesn't make sense. You should have an understanding of who the players are that are consistently going to be best on your team, and I don't feel this team has that. It just feels random who's showing up map to map. That's kind of concerning for me. I don't really see the rhyme and reason to it. Whereas for Kazakhstan, in a weird way, you kind of know who's going to show up. So that is a little strange, and I do honestly think I still lean Kazakhstan. Like, from what I saw on that map, if that's the map they're going to be least comfortable on in the series, and they're still going to have that many rounds won off of individuals, I just think they've got a little too much for Portugal to handle here. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, again, the only thing that would have me a little bit worried for Kazakhstan is obviously a common theme for most of the teams attending here is rotations, right? We've seen it on Nuke, we've seen it on Vertigo, we've seen it on Inferno as well. Basically, if you get caught a little bit lagging, or if you go the complete opposite route and you get a little bit over-eager and you over-rotate, that can cause pretty big issues and allow for T sides to kind of run away with the game and put you in a really, really dark spot, economically speaking. So I'm hoping Kazakhstan kind of have that under wraps for the time being. And again, they do have the individuals to kind of, they should have the individuals to kind of rely on themselves to not necessarily over-rotate as much.
I do also feel like on this map, Inferno, it kind of works out nicely for Kazakhstan because Pumpkin's not a proper AWPer anyway. Yeah. So just get Pumpkin AWPing on CT side, which he's shown he's good enough at, but then you'll get him rifling on T side, where I actually think he can make more plays and have more impact for the team. So on that sense, it might actually suit Kazakhstan this third map.
Quick fire predictions. We lean in Kazakhstan?
staying with Kazakhstan for this one.
Yeah, Kazakhstan, I think it'll be somewhat close, but they'll get it done.
Tall order then for Portugal. Inferno will be the decider of this series. Winner to their semi-final. Stay tuned. We'll have that final map with you soon.
would have thought it? We're going to be here for a map number 3 in our quarterfinal. Our last one of the day. Both quarterfinals actually going map 3 as well, as Germany and Romania are currently playing. Now, Germany were sort of seen as an expectation to make it to the semis, and there's a world in which they don't. Kazakhstan, sort of same for them. I feel like, for the most part, we favoured them in this series, but they've now been pushed towards this Inferno, so it's all up in the air.
Genuinely, after we watched Ancient, it felt like this series was over and done with, even with the question marks of Vertigo being posed. We talked about it as a map being something that could be a little easier to call on for Neelan, and yet still they just couldn't find that last little step on the T side to get an edge, and it just gave enough time for Portugal to wake right up. TMKJ, genuinely have to give him some credit in terms of the impact that he found. And as one of the newer players in this lineup, having that level of impact, it must give just so much confidence to this team moving into a map like Inferno.
Little restart. Who knows why? I'll have a look now. I can't see anything. I don't even see what the issue is. I'm looking over. I'm assuming it might actually be snappy. But either way, this map number 3, all to play for. If we get that level of a TMKJ performance, I think we've actually got a really good chance. He had so much impact in that map number 2. But also we know that Vertigo felt like maybe a little bit of a punish. So there's a world here which Kazakhstan can answer right back. Of course, Inferno as a map is sort of inherently just a little bit easier to play on.
Yeah, and it's one of Neelan's better calling in terms of his tenure as an IGL. He's seen a lot of really good positions to be in. And again, as I mentioned in our first map, this is a situation where Kerrigan was praising a lot of his openings and his ideas as to what he brought here. So we'll see if with this 5-man unit he can produce some good results. And as we jump into the pistol, once again, it's a full belt of utility for TMKJ, a flash smoke combo for Snappy, and advanced positioning into this A side. They're trying to sell something onto B to maybe cause a 4th rotation, but 3 players here, I think they've already done their job at this point, Neil.
I think you're right. Snappy, first in. Oh, maybe not. He sort of half commits and then pulls back, and the bomb is still over here towards A. They haven't fully dragged the rotations away. Oh, it's really messy. Oh. It's really messy. That's so unfortunate because quite a bit of damage dealt. Snappy's dead. Raf's got 1 point of HP, but it still probably now feels like, I would say a lost round, but they're so quick on the rotation. There's maybe a chance. They just don't have a kit.
Yeah, you don't have a kit. You've got this double mini setup as well.
Pumpkin, no armor.
Yeah, this is just a terrifying prospect if you're the CTs. And you've got TMKJ as a late lurk, and still 2 kills come up the way of the CTs. Kazakhstan trying to cut down the space, but Crazy and No Peach are there. It's all on a Defizer, and he finds another. Does he have time? There's 10 seconds with no kit, and I think you're right. Yeah, he's got it.
Time is only just gone, so he's fine.
My goodness. I mean, that's a 5% chance retake, genuinely.
Yeah, well played. Defies us so well. Because he gets that kill in towards mid. The guy who's holding for Banana rotates. So he gets 3 uber important kills there. In that, right on that tail end. And of course gets 1 way back when it was Snappy, I think. He was trying to have a look over towards B. So yes, super well done. Portugal will be kicking themselves to let that one slip. Really will be. And they're going to call for an immediate timeout. So I want to say pressure on the shoulders. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean that's a offensive collapse.
Yeah.
Those are those rounds where you do not get better advantages in a round like that if you're the T's.
It's true.
Man advantage, A-sided plant. Sure, you've got a player on 1 HP, but you've got a double setup that is very hard to clear. If that secondary player never shows their head until the bomb is tapped, you have won the round every single time.
Yeah. While we've got these timeouts, right, I just want to move our attention away from the Counter-Strike, just to, like, observe some of the funny things I've been seeing in the arena.
Yeah.
When people were going out for the break, there's like some guys playing FIFA over there. The guy was like 8-0 down. He just like rage quits and goes on Tekken to cancel the game. Yeah, I love the like small little things we got going on alongside. People getting popcorn behind us as well.
Yeah, we've got a great setup, man. I mean, we had a ping pong table as well in the player
Yeah,
lounge,
we had
and
a good couple of games. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very competitive. We were sweating after casting 5 best of ones.
Yeah.
And then we had we did 4 best of ones. We went and played ping pong, sweated our asses
For like
off
40
to wake
minutes.
up,
Yeah.
and then came back and casted the last one fully pooped out.
Yeah,
But,
who needs a coffee? Just play like 4 games to 11 of ping pong,
yes,
and that'll wake you right back
get the adrenaline up. And
Yeah.
there you go.
Get the competitive nature going. But
Tensions are high here, man. Genuinely.
Yeah. It's a cool setup in terms of as well, because round the corner we got the Boulevard, which is obviously kind of the. For those who haven't seen, it's a very cool. It's kind of like Times Square-esque in terms of all the.
Right.
What do you call them?
LED screens.
Yeah,
basically.
like not quite billboards, but I don't know what you call them. Yeah, big LEDs, sort of Times Square-esque. Pretty cool. All the focus now back in towards the game, off the back of what was attack pause turned tech pause for a brief moment, but we're okay. Full buys both ways. On a pop going to come through here as well. And Dementor does go well for 1. He gets left alone though, so he gets traded out.
And it looks like Portugal don't want to respect this smoke at all. They're calling the bluff straight away, and they'd be right. They go charging in. TMKJ gets all that space onto the B bomb site. Devisor has an opportunity to spam here, but he takes significant damage, and none of his bullets connect. Another disadvantageous position here for Kazakhstan in the retake, and Portugal have got some guns this time.
Jane will be calling the save.
Not Kazakhstan, though.
Nealon, what have you got for us in this retake? They needed the Pfizer for that big quad kill on the previous. Who's going to step up to the plate? Pumpkin only going 1-for-1. Black Magic and Nealon combined, 1 versus 2. The last guy's towards Banana. Smoke on the bomb. He's got a kid. It's so dicey. He's still on it. And no Peach does so well. Nealon was so low as well. If they had a kit, they win that.
Yeah, one more burst in that clip for No Peach, and if he misses that, that's round over. And Portugal, by the thinnest of margins, finally convert a man-even situation in the post plant. And again, these rounds are rounds that need to be converted every single time. The fact that it gets that close is very nerve-wracking for me as a viewer, right?
It is. Because it doesn't completely instill you with confidence.
And, you know, I think it goes both ways. It shows that Kazakhstan might have wanted to up the pace there in terms of how, especially considering they didn't have a kit.
Yeah.
So it shows that the pressure really is on, and we're going to go charging up the banana once more. The flashes are good, but the trade is even better from Defizer. It dissuades Portugal from continuing the car. And now into the 4v4 with a minute 20, Portugal look to reset.
I gotta say, I do love the sort of relentless aggression that we are seeing from Portugal. They know that probably the best way to go about this is actually not showing any respect. I think they should have bit too much respect in map number 1, hence why things weren't going to plan on Ancient.
And they saw it work well on Vertigo, especially through TMKJ on that CT side, especially when they switched over too. And now you're seeing a team that is hungry to win, and that fire that catapulted them through Vertigo is starting to transfer here onto Inferno. But hold on a second, Nealon with a cracking deagle.
His deagles look really good, by the way. All
yeah.
throughout this series, he's just been finding just that 1 or 2 shots, and that one threads the needle as well. The issue is Deficer's alone, and he's low.
How's that Molly not spread? Oh my goodness, do they clear second altogether?
Yes, they will.
Okay, they've got an inclination.
Okay,
yes, okay, they've confirmed. Pumpkin still here with this scout. He hits a tag. Crazy still available. Nealon will find another deagle headshot. 20 seconds left on the clock. Things start to get a little dicey as the smokes fade.
I can't lie. 5-7 and the deagle has a chance here. No Peach isn't exactly healthy. Where do we actually plant that feels somewhat safe? Oh, nowhere safe. No time. He actually has to get on it right now, and he's not got the time. He can't get the kill. Oh, we're getting basically ecoed. I know it's a 4-spy, but it's pistols and 1 scout.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a bad one to lose. That's a heartbreaking. And no bomb plant either in like a lost round, so there's no extra residual cash. So it means that Rafa's basically going to be the only true weapon they have here. They might opt to force around him. However,
that's our second time out, isn't it?
Yeah, I would actually not force here.
Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, the bomb plant didn't go down. That is true.
This is where I would actually say, because the only one who gets less than a bit of an island is Rafa. I would actually just try and do something a little audacious here. And if they got a bomb plant in this one, they still fall by next. If they don't get a bomb plant, with the sort of half loss bonus that they've got going for them, they get to at least be even to bring in kind of like Galil's bit of util. They're still not going to be the worst case scenario. Somebody can pick them up to an AK. They just can't have as many util in their belt. It's just a bit of an awkward spot.
Well, look, they've gotten a Mac 10, and they've got a bit of utility for an execution. So if they want to keep having that pressure on the car and they're getting it effectively in terms of the trading, it's not the end of the world if you have a Tech 9 in that case, right?
I'm just looking at it this way, where with 1.9k loss bonus that they've got, most of them are about 2k. So at 3.9k, you can at the very, you can get Galil's armor, util, and a couple of people on AKs who just don't have as much, maybe just one flash, right? So it feels alright. And if Rafa just stays alive as like a worst case scenario, then everyone has rifles.
Well, hold on. So far, Rafa has cracked open the brackets a little bit. He's disassembled that crossfire, and it forces the CTs back into the site proper. And Portugal very smartly aren't committing off the back of this. Instead, they're posturing. They're taking Arch. They're making sure that they can cause a third rotation to come in from Demente. And now they can re-execute into that car position. If they want to consider a contact play, there's a possibility. The options are opening up here for Portugal.
Yeah, they pick up an upgrade of a gun as well. There's a FAMAS here. Nealon. He's not tucked. He actually wants to fight. The only issue is, though, left eye peeking. I don't like it, but it works. And I'm going to say, he had a chance on a double there. He doesn't get it. It's close. Rafa, with that FAMAS that was given to him because the nade blew it in his direction, gets the kill.
It is only Black Magic left on this A site in pit with an MP9, mind you. And if the scale comes through on this A side.
If they go short, though, it's close range.
Yeah, I was thinking there was at least going to be a late lurk long side, but they want to stick together and trade effectively, considering the weaponry advantage. And I don't hate it either. They'll realize that that spot is clear, but have they cleared pit? They're going to have to make that hard decision, and Black Magic finds one. Now the pressure is on Portugal to try and flush him out before the cavalry arrive, but they can't do it. Black Magic is not giving any space. Finally, TMKJ will go straight in. The Deagle spam is good, and now in the 2v2, the momentum swings back towards the T's.
Yeah, FAMAS back in the control as well. The fires a Molotov in towards pit's big. He can't catch him on the exit, though. No P-Job close with the AK-47. The FAMAS swing. Oh, he doesn't confirm the kill. And that actually might have cost him. That might have cost him that he thinks he's confirmed the kill, but he hasn't. MP9's running low on ammo. Has to go back in towards the pistol. And it's just that unconfirmed kill in mini pit that cost him the round.
Oh my goodness. I mean, that was a freebie. You think that's all over at that point in time. And, gotta give credit to Black Magic for staying alive for as long as he did, finding that MP9 kill and making it a likely round, a probable round for Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
But right now, the clutch factor swinging into Portugal's favor. They took such a risk, as we were speaking about in round number 4, but it pays off, Neil, and look at what they're rewarded with. They're rewarded with 5 pistols on the other end. There's not even an SMG to speak highly about.
That's such a heartbreaking way to lose a round, because it is just one of those where if you lose the map, i.e. then the series, you're going to think back to rounds like that where it's like, I made a grave error by thinking I confirmed the kill.
That's a sleepless night right there.
Yeah, and he thinks he's confirmed the kill as well because he crouches after being tagged. So he thinks that's his body dropping. It's just such a small thing.
In the heat of battle, man, you don't really consider those things, but they're still going to try to make this force buy work. Pushing through smokes, maybe they can find some luck. And it's really only Black Magic, and he's done some heroics before, but it's only limited to 1. And No Peach hits a blinder on a Neal and Deep Arch. This force buy has fallen flat on its face, as we kind of expected. Demente and Defizer are here at this point, but nothing being offered up, and now No Peach encroaching. They might be leaving this 5th round with absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And that means 2 for the price of 1 on a silver platter here for Portugal, as they have just stormed back in this series, Neo.
I know, it is actually now looking at the point where we have to be very concerned about Kazakhstan, because this one's also going to have nothing behind it. Portugal's going to get 4, and it puts all the pressure on the next gun round for Kazakhstan, saying if we don't find it, Portugal can basically do enough to set up an incredibly strong T-side performance, which already puts a lot of worry. Just checking the score of the other game as well. They're in that map number 3, 5-0 up. Yeah, Romania looking really good.
I mean, what an upset that would be.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Completely shaking up the bracket. Metasport, and currently known as Sweden,
Yeah.
would be licking their lips at the prospect.
Oh, that nade could do a lot of damage. And that
Kamikaze, man.
Oh,
Genuinely.
crazy. Give him the ace. Give him all 5. He's struggling. He's really struggling. Glock pulled out. He's running out of ammo on both guns. And he might need a bit of support for that one. Maybe. Black Magic. He's just sort of toying with him.
Oh. Gets a little dink. That's good for the dart, but that's about it. 4-2 now for Portugal. And the guns come out for Kazakhstan. They won't have that necessary AWP from Pumpkin, but right now, I think it goes beyond the op and the individuals. I think mentally they've just got to clock back into this series because they kind of disappeared on Vertigo, and now slowly but surely they're fading here in Inferno. It's still early days, of course, but these are the rounds that really tell the tale for how this T-side's going to look.
It is true. It is true. But it's a chance for Kazakhstan. Gotta try and do something a little audacious. I like this. The fighter gets in towards Banana. Got a bit of room to work with here. Just be a little careful and cautious with the fighter being the only kit in this round. And they've already started to whisk through a fair decent amount of the Utah on that CT side. Black Magic's only got a flash. The fighter's got nothing. Dementor's only got a flash. Nade flash over towards Pumpkin. I mean, they've got 2 smokes. The fighter actually gets dropped a bit of Utah now because he's going to get left alone towards Banana, and they're going to commit the numbers towards A. I like this call because of the presence they saw. However, it all hinges on whether basically the fighter can stay alive.
Yeah, but the problem is here, Kazakhstan have no information as to what's happening in brackets. It's been taken by the Ts. They're going to try a little bit of mid-round aggression to clear things out through apartments. But while all this is happening, Portugal are going to reclaim cars. So jostling for control are both of these teams on both ends. Finally, contact being made. No, Peach caught between a rock and a hard place, and he would have loved to get one on the way out, but not to be. Instead, Crazy will take his place, and they'll go charging into this B bomb site. Beautiful little setup there from Demente. And sure, he goes down through the smoke, but Divisor's still here. He's able to do some damage, and the lost bullets of that MP9 magazine will find a second as well. Kazakhstan, even with those risks in apartment, still pull it off and keep us near at 3 and 4.
Yeah, and the most important thing about that as well is actually the fact that they do it with only the 1 casualty. So we're actually looking at that and saying it's giving long-term economy, it's giving a bit of confidence back, and it's still keeping the pressure on Portugal. Still a chance here, but Rafa going to bring out in towards the AWP something in which we still haven't seen from Pumpkin, but also we still haven't really seen Pumpkin in this map either. He's struggling to get going. The rest of the team are having their moment, sure, but he's being a little quiet, especially by his standards. He's playing primarily out through A and sort of just being overwhelmed. It's not always the easiest position to play from, and obviously a lot of Banana presence is where you get a lot of the DAR on this map, but he's getting ice sensor quite easily. If Pumpkin comes online though, that's when Portugal probably do have to get worried, because that's when we got all cylinders firing.
Yeah, right now, I've got to give credit to Snappy. He's calling a good game. He's grinding down a vet IGL and some banging individuals as well. But he's got to see this one through. He's got to capitalize on this round right here. Another full buy as a true test. Take on the Molotov gives a little bit of information to the CTs, but nothing being committed upon just yet. And are they going to call another bluff? Yes, they are. Nade open in the smoke, and they go 1 for 1. You favor the CTs or the T side every day of the week at this point. And now, surely this bomb will go down, but Divisor's going through. He wants to charge in and take one before he goes down, but TMKJ through the smoke coils this one right in the bud.
The fighter's position's sick, he just panics. He just doesn't actually know where to look. And I think now this one feels done to me.
Yeah,
we still have that kit, but I honestly think you got to stay alive. Keep out of this 3. 3 stay alive, we rebuy and actually really comfortably in towards the next, and it's fine. But it is one of those where this is a Portuguese side who are still keeping the pressure on. They're not pumping the brakes. Momentum's still rolling for them. They're actually giving a really nice cross out too, so very good spot that they're in. I've been hearing those cheers as well. I'm seeing Romania are still feeling like they're pulling away and potentially even being for that chance of knocking out Germany, which would be wild if that was the case.
Man, Romania on the up and up, genuinely.
They're 8-2 up.
Wow. You've got a major champion, and from the region,
Yeah.
you know, you're starting to find promise in the national team as well. You know, they've had so many roster troubles trying to fill these gaps of the talents going elsewhere.
And they get a chance at revenge because it was Sweden who knocked them out in the semis last year, or the quarters last year.
Oh my goodness, that would be
On
fantastic.
home soil.
On home soil, yeah.
So now they get their revenge a year on against a side who were then, Sweden of course went flawless all the way throughout that tournament. They've already dropped a map in the groups. So Romania will know that they are beatable. They're not immortal.
Yeah, but not done just yet. A lot of game to be played on both quarterfinals at this point. And we'll see which teams end the witching hour on top. Portugal, again, so eccentric in terms of the map control that they've been looking for, and now Apartments is in their grasp as well. You've got half wall being covered by the CTs, but Portugal want to go executing into A from Apartments. How do Kazakhstan respond?
TMKJ, keep an eye on what he will do. I mean, he's had a lot of impact. He's in this pack as well, so I'm waiting for him to fly out of Bauk here. Now, Peach holding for a rotation in towards long. This is looking for that A finish. Bomb on the back of Crazy. TMKJ, like I said, when does he make his move out? Trying to set that Molotov to bank off the wall. He dives in towards short. Molly does tick. They know there's one there. Pumpkin still hasn't seen anybody. Now he pops head up. Only good for one, but Black Magic does a lot of work staying alive. It's as simple as that, but it just keeps that pressure on. They plant for long as they've cleared out towards Library. They still know that Black Magic is in pit. So where's Dementa? He's made his move. Made his presence known as well. Will they clear towards Graveyard? Not well enough. The last guy, they've known the whole time he's here, and they just don't need to face him.
Beautiful proactivity from Portugal, and now jumping all throughout his Black Magic. He realizes how static he's become. He's become a sitting duck in the big pit, and Portugal get themselves their 6th round. What a snap decision to automatically just commit to the plant on the site proper, knowing that the B rotator is still coming through, and knowing that it's all up to Black Magic to stay alive. He's never going to take the duel there. So, I mean, they've got 15 seconds left on the clock. If they actually try to flush him out, that's one of the only ways they lose that round as well. So, genuinely, you're starting to see the cogs turning for Portugal in the micro as well as the macro. And Kazakhstan just cannot keep tempo.
Yeah, the best thing they do there is just ignore him. In the weirdest of ways. Because he smokes himself, he really can't do a lot until it fades.
Even though that's kind of the right decision for him.
Yeah, because he's in the molly, right? He has to.
And now Pumpkin again will fall early, 2 and 8.
No.
I don't know how the visors reach T-Bridge, but hey, he's got himself an AK. And Peach could have cut it off, but he's still worried about another straggling CT around. Instead, he's just going to carefully meander his way back into brackets, give away out here for Portugal in this 4v4.
Well, AK will go just below Bauk, just above Mini. It's a bit of a head angle. It's a tough shot to hit. Doesn't help that he hasn't got armor. So he really can't afford to take too much of a fight. He has to actually play these awkward angles and these weird little gimmicks to try and make them work. Dementa, nice shot with the Eagle. 3 versus 3. It's not over.
And now the gamble comes back the other way. Defizer is still here. Oh, spots 3 heads but can't connect. That nade should do some decent damage. And Defizer will find one more.
There's a flash there too from the T-side.
Oh, Defizer with another, and now it's all on to No Peach.
The T-side flash actually completely ruins TMKJ there. That's so unfortunate. Oh, they know he's here. Defizer, he's playing around when he pit, but he can't do it enough. Dementa, no armor as well. And the fight is so good. No Peach is waving towards Kazakhstan. They look at them in the eye, arms up across that team as they are absolutely winning the mental game and the in-game.
Can you think about just how this series started? I mean, Ancient, just a dominating effect
And
from Kazakhstan.
It's still the best map we've seen so far as well.
Genuinely.
Like, of the tournament.
Yes. Yeah, that looked like an open and shut case. And even the beginnings of Vertigo, you started to see Neelan get to work. But Portugal, through TMKJ, just boosting the confidence of this team, has just found another gear for Portugal. And they're turning a corner here on Inferno. Clutch after clutch. Round after round, they are up 7-3 here in the deciding map.
Oh.
And Rafa has just eviscerated Pumpkin into the head-to-head.
I mean, if that doesn't sum up how bad things are going for Kazakhstan, that one fight alone, your star talisman getting out-orbed on a pre-aim, right?
He's getting swung into.
I know. It literally getting beaten on a pre-fire. I mean, that alone is just showing how the demise of Kazakhstan is happening in real time. Oh, I think Romania have just won.
We are getting into some scary territories for some said favorites.
I'm seeing people stand up over there. I think that's Romania. But it won't update on my side. But I'm pretty sure that's Romania standing up. Let's have a look. That's BTN. It is.
Wow.
It is. The boys have done it. That's BTN. They just stood up and hugged each other.
One upset on one end of the bracket. Can we get another? For right now, Kazakhstan want to say no. Still very aggressive on the CT side. They take the fight to Portugal. A war on multiple fronts through apartments and through the arch side as well. They still hold on. They find a fourth. And actually, Portugal's money looks a little rocky here between TMKJ and Crazy. I don't know if guns are down, but maybe an opportunity here for the CTs to pull a fifth one out of the hat.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
last time out being used here by Portugal. Mind you, that's the third one in full effect. If there is that comeback and that run back from Kazakhstan, there will be no time for Portugal to stop that death ball from rolling through.
if this is right, I think Romania won 13-3, map 3.
Wow.
Wow. That is not even close. What a Dust 2.
And mind you, alternate attacks, Germany were solid on Dust 2 in this tournament. Truly a gargantuan upset.
If this is, it's a little bit delayed on HLTV, so I'm going to assume it's either 13-3 or 13-4.
Wow.
Okay. Surely not.
I mean, either way, single digits for one of the tournament favorites is genuinely insane from a Romanian team that has struggled within
I just
tier
watched
3.
it. It was a Ragger and a 1v2 at the end to win 13-3. It was crisp as well. He had like 15 points of HP.
That's insane.
Damn.
Man.
All right. That is a sick upset.
It's the Mongols setup. I love this setup.
It's really good.
It's high risk, high reward. I've seen it fail.
Oh, absolutely.
In North America, of course.
One decent pop flash is completely useless. Or one molly, one nade for any information. Oh, 2 big kills. Pumpkin actually gets that kill into his apartment. So the Mongol setup actually works there.
And now Portugal with a minute 10. Sure, you've got map control, but you don't got the bodies. And that flash is beautiful. It brings TMKJ down to 39. And this looks like Kazakhstan finding a way to hang around here on this decider. Pumpkin locked and loaded with that op. Beautiful flick over to Rafa. Crazy and TMKJ just don't have a lot to say, especially considering that bomb is down on short side. Surely this one is locked in place for the CTs.
Especially with TMKJ and the Eagle, right? Surely.
Yeah.
And, well, down it goes. 1v5. Pumpkin's holding for him. If Crazy moves his way out, one of either Pumpkin or the big pin play, I should see it. That's a great flick up. Nice work. It's a small recovery, but it's a very workable scoreline. 7-5 on a map in which is actually one of the statistically more T-sided maps in the pool. I think if I'm right in saying, last time I checked, and forgive me, it's actually been quite a while, but I think it was, Inferno was like 52% CT-sided. So it's basically pretty even, right? And as maps go, that does mean that a strong T-side caller, like Neelan, might be able to dig them out of a dark spot. But before we even get to any of that, we have to look at it in the sense of a pistol round feels like basic necessity and probably the first gun round too.
Yes, I mean, ball is very firmly in Neelan's court.
And it's up top as well.
Yep, up top as well. Everybody in the server says it, I'm sure, as we get into the final half of this quarterfinal
Shots.
bracket, and TMKJ starts it off with a banger. Pumpkin falls straight away, and Kazakhstan is a little terrified to keep going at it. Flash through, and now they can reclaim that space.
Team KJ is so confident. I love it.
You need that. You
Yeah.
need that against some of these aimers, genuinely.
Especially when you lose a player like a Gil, right? You need someone, obviously he's not the one directly filling that spot, but you need somebody who can take fights. Needing can also take fights as well. And he leads by example in that sense. It's a really good shot. And he still continues to have a really good map. I mean, the desk all touch in this, he's in a great tournament so far. He's actually been, I think that's still the highest rated player for the Kazakhstan side. And with Pumpkin falling early, they do need Neelan to deliver a little bit more. Smoke going to come over towards the CT side. One over towards Coffins as well. It's a messy fight. Rafa it looked like tempted to play out in front of that as well, but Black Magic finds an important kill towards Snappy, and they just converge on towards this B site. No contest there. Portugal have to play retake, and they go for the Fountains Plant 2, which is sort of not the general expectation. It does give them a real good ability to set up in a variety of different angles.
Yeah, getting rid of that lurk as well means that now Black Magic can hold on to Banana. They've got every sort of avenue cut in to place here for this post plant. It's an unlosable situation unless Portugal can defy the odds once more. Here they go charging into place, but Defizer and Demente, the double Ds, chime in, and it's Kazakhstan's turn to get loud in the server.
Nothing will be funnier than seeing Kazakhstan wave back at them if they start winning. I love
Yeah.
it. That's the
Yeah.
that's the BM I need in my life. I need Neelan to stand up or something and just like wave back at them.
Just the quietest dude.
I know,
just
the
waving
nicest bloke on the planet, just
Yeah.
to be like, bye. But it's far from game over. And it's absolutely game on right now. It's still Portugal in for a lead. 7-6. Of course, there won't be a bye here for Portugal. The one thing that I'm quite sad about this, you know, as much as I'm happy they haven't force sport, if they had force sport and lost, that would then finally be 4 times the amount of force sports lost than won this year for me.
Shame.
I know.
Shame we can't get that. Hey, we still got another day, so.
Yeah, we should supersede it. We
Yep.
still, you know, this whole tournament, we're still yet to see a successful one on the stream.
That is actually very true. We haven't seen one yet.
You learn. Get them stats, my king. Pfizer wants a bit of a taste of it as well. Of course, this is sort of a nothing round. It kind of thought for Portugal, it felt like one of those tack pauses about calling the tack pause type vibe, because they actually got one left. They
Yeah.
actually need to sort of wait for the right time to use it.
You would love that on the T side, but now on the CT side, you can't set the tempo anymore. And Kazakhstan very smartly are advancing through their default protocols. But at this point, I think if you're TMKJ and Nopeach, you're trying to
He
find
tried to Zeus.
cheeky. I'll say that.
I
But
can respect it.
at this point, you want Nopeach to just stay alive for as long as possible so they can just keep discussing. They'll have basically like 30 to 35 seconds to have a conversation before those guns come out. And then start to rev it up once more. Because we're getting into that crunch time.
Well, Napeach spotted and dropped 4th round. Pretty easy. Only damage dealt was Neelan fighting in towards mid. And he's not too worried. All tied square and an incredibly important gun round for Portugal. But I said, when we came in towards this half, for Kazakhstan, we have to get the pistol round, but the first gun round too. So this is the one for me, because it's all well and good getting a pistol if you just go back to your same old ways when the guns and the money is back in play for Portugal. Let's see what they've got to work with. U2 in the back pocket, we're still winning that Mac 10 as well. Menta might want to go a little bit quicker, get a bit of that top banana control. They're going to actually boost up on half wall. And there's no one here, so they're actually very early taking a lot of map control.
Yeah,
But look at the other side though. Just look at Portugal now making a move in towards second.
Yeah, that is very important to note. At this point, we'll see if that comes back to haunt Kazakhstan, but at the very end of the day, minute 20, they're getting themselves car. Retake utility comes from the CTs to try and slow this down, but the smoke is up to make sure that they don't take too much damage.
Look at this. That's, yeah,
4 players.
Black Magic. He might actually have a chance here. They're so committed towards A. It felt like they were going to wrap in towards apartments, but they actually pulled off that angle. And double stacking that short bulk is such an unorthodox play.
Yeah, and you've got the only way to end that round cut off in that apartment's presence. Rafa's watching that sight line. So you've got a couple flashes that you want to pop through, but this is going to be a dangerous round for the T side to overcome. And they've seen a little bit of presence from mid, but here come the T's. Nealon finds one to crack things open, but now the pressure's on.
Oh, they get out. Okay, that's at least a one positive
No.
to work with. No, that's not a positive. That's really not. Black Magic kills his IGL. Oh, that's going to make things awkward. Numbers don't favor them. Crazy on the big flank as well. They're not going to expect it on this sort of timing. So Crazy could be able to get in behind at the perfect moment. Molly for Big Pit. That might force him out. No, it goes too deep. So Defies actually can stay in his perfect spot. This will change things. They've got to clear this as a mini pit setup as well. The crossfire is really good from Pumpkin, but we need a hero, and it all has to be on Defizer's shoulders in the 1 versus 3 to 1v2. Swing and not a find as Portugal respond. Oh, it's close. Maybe we can even put it all down to Black Magic killing Nealon, maybe.
I mean, genuinely, when you have a 4-stack like that on the A bomb site, this round should not have been as close as it was.
Yeah.
And yet still, Kazakhstan find a way to get some key entries and push the CTs off the bomb site itself. And as soon as that happens, I like that Portugal still stay calm under that sort of pressure. There's so many situations there where you might overface, you might give away a little bit too much, but they wait for the mid flank to come in, they wait for Crazy to get sprung into action in through the apartments, and eventually they overcome the odds. Defizer can't get enough done, even with the bait and switch setup in the pits. And now Kazakhstan will have to grind it back again against another buy.
At least it's not the worst buy in the world. From both sides. The only real worse weapon is out of that MP9. Lead down deep. Snappy as well. Oh,
What?
Another team kill, fellas. What has got? Where was that?
I think
Was that
you
Banana?
had a player deep banana spamming, and Defizer swings out, and the nade plus a clip of of a bullet takes him out.
He headshot him as well.
Oh goodness! Talk about insult to injury.
Yeah. 2 team kills in 2 rounds. Guys, come on.
I mean, that's got to rattle you just a little bit, right?
Yeah, Dementa and Black Magic both getting a team kill apiece. If ever there was a sign to say the nerves are affecting them, that's it.
Yeah.
And in both ways could be the costly factor.
Gamble again onto this A side from Portugal. And sure, the molly comes down. But Kazakhstan cannot get that part of the map that they were hoping for without a little bit of time.
They don't commit to the rotate. They actually were going to drag TMKJ off, and he gets called back. But I gotta say, Snappy's util usage has been perfect both rounds. He stopped them going B last round, and they went into the stack. And this time, he's slowed them down, but they're gonna go in. So Snappy's gonna go huge. 2 kills here, and he might even just do enough to win the round. TMKJ's come over in the right time. There's 1, there's 2. Job done for Snappy. Any more is the cherry on top, and he might even still be in for the fight. Can't do enough. Dementa finds an important one. Tap? No, he's sticking it, and OP's gonna go through that smoke. Oh, Snappy does so well.
Beautiful round there. Beautiful. And I mean, this guy has to call. He has to do a lot of fragging as well. In some of these T rounds, he's calling around himself. And him pulling it off in that fashion, I think personally he needed just 1. But 2 is plenty. And just the chaining of flashes from the players that are rotating through the CT spawn is so important. They never let Kazakhstan get a free bomb plant and never allow them to have any sort of pressure being built upon. And look at what that does to that T side. Nothing to speak of here. Portugal are knocking on the door of double digits. And what a time to do so at round number 17. Map number 3 here in this quarterfinal.
I mean, this is what we said, right? It's all well and good getting the pistol, but if you don't get the gun rounds, it doesn't actually make a difference. And this is still the issue with Kazakhstan. They just haven't been able to really make it look as efficient or as effective when it's come towards these full buys and these investments. Nealon needs to be careful looking up. Play down low. Now play someone towards Cubby over towards Long. This already feels like a shutdown, but 2 over fights, 2 over faces, 2 Deagle, 1 taps. Maybe something here. Cold Zero Box not cleared, and Crazy's still alive.
Why?
And Crazy gets all 4. Oh, that is absolutely sumptuous from the youngster. And single-handedly puts the team on his back from Cold Zero Box.
There was a Glock burst in that equation, and I just don't understand why you would be bursting against a full kitted out player like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I know it's to try and sell something for the rifle, but in that situation, if he would have just had a full auto Glock, he can slow the round down and just get that headshot nice and confirmed.
Yeah.
That genuinely feels damning for me.
I think you might be right. Oh my god, Snappy. He just saw what crazy did and wants a piece of the pie himself, but he overextends and gets caught. Still is a really nice 3-round lead though for Portugal. 3 rounds away from moving on to face Serbia in that next round, which would be huge.
Little bit of damage, or noise being given by Black Magic. And at this point, a complete standstill here on Inferno. Nobody wanting to give up any more than they have to. And TMKJ, stalwart on the banana control. It's been a point of contention for sure, and honestly, Portugal haven't really vied for it as often. And now when they do, they lose a body.
Neely's still keeping presence shown. Crazy and Rafa, all right. Round's far from over. It was 3 versus 5. Very quickly brought level. The flashing towards the fighter is good. The bomb's coming back over. No Pages here as well. Waiting's a very good map of Counter-Strike so far, and it might even be in for the chance on one of his own. Molly over towards New Box. Bomb then going to be pulled back because of how much information Dementa's got. And he might get a freebie, and he will. So well played. This is it. That's this round done. I don't actually think for Portugal they can give it a go, because look how bad their long-term econ is.
Yeah, they can't at all. And Demente locks in this round for Kazakhstan. It's a pendulum between banana and brackets and banana and brackets. And finally they get that incision that confirms where they want to end up, because hell, if Demente doesn't get that kill, we're talking a B split that has 2 players on the bomb site proper, and you're probably thinking the banana players find nothing, and that flank in CT nets nothing as well. It might be too late, but it just so happens that Demente finds the space and finds the kill to claim Kazakhstan's 8th.
I'm trying to think, who's sitting on Portugal for us? Viewers at home, you won't get this, but second from the left.
Second from the left.
I'm trying to think who that is. Is it crazy?
Okay, let's compare
Because obviously,
hairlines.
second from the left, obviously on the HUD. I don't know if that actually makes a difference. Anyway, the reason being, whoever that was, with his hands up on his head right now, whoever that
Yeah.
is.
I wish we could get cams.
Yeah. If you know Prod, put him up next. Whoever is second from the left, behind the coach. The coach is behind him right now, whoever that is getting mad fired up, basically. As that round was ending and they were saving. No, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll keep an eye out for it. But he was getting super fired up as that round was ending. Really, like, shouting, rallying the troops here. So Portugal is still far from done in this one. Still fired up, but the fighter does super well.
It's Defizer and Dementa finding so
Big
much
nade.
impact right now. And that nade, as you said, significant. But Kazakhstan still claim car control, and look at how proactive Neelan is. Unrelenting in his aggression. And at Arch now, TMKJ only has an MP9 and he's walking away. Neelan spots a shoulder. He thinks he has an angle in. And another rotation to come through. The captain has 2 kills on his plate, and he knocks them down straight away. The red carpet rolled out here on the first letter of the alphabet, and Kazakhstan have 9. Surely.
Yeah, they do. Once again, got to save. I whittled it down. It's one of Snappy or Crazy. We just can't see their face. I can only see the top of the head
Yeah, unfortunately, there are monitors.
in the way. It's one of the 2 of them. Anyway, they're getting super fired up, which actually is kind of interesting because they're 2 of the youngsters, right? But they are really getting fired up. And the fact that it's a flawless round out for Kazakhstan is pretty big as well. They're now building up really good long-term econ, right? They're building up enough that if things go south in like 1 round, where even if they win it, they lose 4 casualties, for example, they still buy in towards the next, no issues. And they're really putting pressure on towards Portugal. 1 round is the difference. We just don't really have a buy to work with is the real issue.
You know, rifle core as well for Kazakhstan starting to wake up. Demente and Defizer have been doing a lot of good work, and now Nealon is also finding that slithery impact across brackets.
Also the fact as well that it's not the two main players for Kazakhstan
Yeah,
too, right?
exactly.
Because both Black Magic and Pumpkin are on single digits and they've looked very quiet, and others have filled their shoes, which is it's no easy task.
It's a real difficult scenario for Kazakhstan, having to win in a different situation, one that they're not used to. Can they overcome this?
Oh.
Maybe they can. Nealon pacey through mid. Rafa is not expecting that much aggression there from the IGL, and now a 5v4 and a chance for Kazakhstan to equalize here.
Crazy. He's the one who picks up the AWP. Close to MKJ, good work. Defizer. Taunts it back, and they actually don't really have banana control here, so they have to use the util to retake a bit of space. Doesn't mean they have to commit to it either. Snappy taking a couple of shots as well with that P250. He's moving his way forward, but he will get deleted. Down he goes. And Demente going to now hold for these rotations to come back in. TMKJ got a really strong angle. And now down he falls. This should be the round here. It's Snappy and OP, and they've lost that AWP. That's the big thing that I don't even know if they can recover.
Yeah, it's on short side, right?
Yeah.
So it's not getting picked up. No way. Maybe there's a rifle that Snappy can recover.
Feels like he's looking for it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was going to say wouldn't be able to, but there it is. He's been gifted it. And now it's Operation Escape here for the captain. But Kazakhstan, Nealon specifically, calling a beautiful game. And by calling a beautiful game, I mean he's just saying go kill.
Hey guys, help me out right one time.
I will do it myself.
No Peach gets a kill at the end. But it is Kazakhstan going to tie this game up 10 rounds apiece. Game once again back on, and we might just have a chance at something. Pretty insane spot that we find ourselves in as Kazakhstan call for that timeout. This is a tough predicament that we're in. And I think it was Snappy, by the way.
Yeah.
I think I've whittled it down, which makes sense, obviously,
Yeah, of course.
being the caller. But it's because Raf is sitting in the middle. That's why I figured it out. Because he had the AWP and he died. And then he put his hands up on his head. And I was like, ah, there we go.
Look
That's
at
how I
you
know.
reading body language.
What can I say? What can I say? It was one of the two. Interesting that they have the IGL sitting in the middle.
Yeah, it's very interesting when people decide not to do that.
Yeah. I think, is Nealon sitting in the middle? I don't even know. Let me stand up and see.
Well, Pumpkin here is on the edge. That's all I can see.
I'm tangled in cables. Let me go have a look.
He's abandoned post, folks. He'll be back. Either way, Kazakhstan now really hinges on this round here. The pendulum has swung both ways in this series. It swung both ways in this map as well.
I can confirm he's not sitting in the middle.
Wow.
He's actually
yeah.
he's second from the left. Actually,
enough.
the same as Snappy, interestingly enough.
Maybe that's the meta.
That is the meta now.
But now, Kazakhstan, they've loved a good car control. And they're going to charge in as well. They've got it pretty much unscathed every time. Be it in the beginning of the round, be it in the late. And I think they're just considering just walking up completely dry and completely silently as well. Nobody aware that Sandbags has been cleared out. I think you're going to have a player with his arm sticking out, and they know that there's another player on the first oranges side of things, and they want to go through this Molotov. And now with smoke up, do you really want to go through this?
Oh, I don't like this. That's actually relentlessly aggressive and not the way that we like. Oh, I think they made such a rash decision of one person dies, but let's just see if we can trade them out. And they all just drop like dominoes. It is actually a bit of an immature decision there, playing it like a pug when the best thing you could have done is probably even just pump the brakes and double pump the execute.
Yeah, I think you just got to fold in at that point. Unfortunately, that smoke made them think that maybe it was a bluff, possibly. And they've called that bluff 2 to 3 times in the rounds that they've won, and they've come out the better of it. This time around, though, they get punished.
Oh, I don't know, yeah.
Hey, they're getting loud again now, too.
Yeah, the thing with that decision that I really don't like is you already lose a player before you even, like, the idea is formulated into an execution. Like, you haven't even started the execute, and you lose a player, and then you just, like, panic commit towards it.
I'm thinking the nades are already in the air, that they're thinking it's some cost fallacy, maybe we just have to commit off of it. But it looks terrible in play, right? It's just unfortunate.
And that does, you're absolutely right.
Okay, I think he's good.
Yeah. Takes less damage than I thought he would, and well, it's quiet. 1 minute 15.
I mean, there is so much on the shoulders in terms of pressure for Kazakhstan. Money dwindling at this point, opportunities to equalize also dwindling. But at least they have map control. At least they have the apartments now. But nothing has been sold over for an extra rotation for Portugal. They are stalwart. One player on the arch side, a double pit setup as well between Crazy and No Peach. And we've seen the power of some of these A defenses. They've got to hold strong just one more time here, Neo.
Yeah, 4th rotating over now as well as TMKJ looks like he's about to come support. There's a T-smoke out towards Long and a nade in towards Cubby. But it looks like he might... There may be a world in which Snappy tries to call them back. Crazy does well. The trade's a little bit lackluster, but actually going 1-for-1 is good, unless if they don't clear mini pit. And he's still alive. No Peach. Why haven't we cleared him? And he still gets away with another kill. This is absolutely bonkers. That nade should confirm it, and it's an absolute dunker as Neelan gets deleted. Last one of the fight spotted, but he gets one. Hang on a second, might be a chance here. Nobody near the bomb just yet for that defuse. 2 kits to work with. No PJ and Snappy, both in a position where they've got that limited HP, but they can just tuck their heads. It's tucked around the corner. He's got to fight. He might not have the time, and he doesn't. You get the kills, but it makes no damn difference. Portugal, find 12.
Defizer has a lean back in his chair. He knows how close that was. But man, oh man, they don't complete the kill in small pit. No Peach lives for just a second too long. And I am baffled as to how that happens. My God, and look at what that does to them. I mean, that's a back-breaking round.
Yeah, they're so sure that somebody is playing on site or rotating off Long that they have to flip their attention there, and he's tucking his head to bait in that fight.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really make sense why they're not fighting him, bar that.
Yeah, I guess they're thinking there is a Moto player.
Yeah, they must think someone's rotating from Moto, and he's tucked his head because he's waiting for them to fight for him.
Right, maybe he's thinking that player Mini just doesn't face anymore.
Yeah, he was just low and bricking it and had to just stay alive. And then he gets another kill on top to make it even better.
I just don't know how he gets away with that kill, man. Genuinely.
Pretty ridiculous stuff. 12-10. Map and series point Portugal. So close to moving on to face Serbia and towards the next. And look at the spot that Kazakhstan are in right now. Leland's only got a Tech 9. Not the predicament you want to find yourselves in, but the Fires are going to find that first. So at the very least, you got that to work with. Snappy deleted, but Portugal being in this spot before, it's not exactly something they're unused to.
Yeah, key portion of Banana taken by Kazakhstan. Putting a little bit more pressure on this A side to maybe get a little bit of information, but right now, they're starved of it across all portions. Crazy's gonna go peeking on his head in and find that brackets is clear. So now Kazakhstan slow the round down. There's no need to speed into anything, no need to skip steps in this default. Force the CTs to make some hard gambles as they have been throughout this CT side. And that's what they're going to do. Crazy's going to move on over to that B site. They're still going to have some feelers out in brackets. No, Peach offers himself up, and Black Magic finds the incision. They don't have to commit here, Kazakhstan. They can pull back away. And as soon as Black Magic finds an open A bomb site, surely they'll commit. The cherry on the top here is Defizer finds another, so they can keep the pressure on in terms of the economy as well.
Game's not done, right?
Not at all.
Speaking of this economy, right, Portugal are actually in a really feeble state themselves.
Genuinely.
This does have the
Overtime.
feeling of overtime on the cards a little bit. We've got an AWP and an AK. But at the same time, Kazakhstan can't hunt either because they can't afford to lose anything themselves.
Yeah, you want to retain 5 rifles every day of the week. There's probably going to be some sort of concession in terms of rifles, there'll probably be some SMGs in place. And, you know, they won't have what they want to defend, but they're going to have to do it in some way, shape, or form.
So, I mean, TMKJ, well, they're on 1.4, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah,
I
so-
do believe so.
I mean, TMKJ might actually have a pistol.
Yeah.
I mean, unless
yeah.
actually he might get dropped over something, but like crazy. Yeah,
they're
they're 1.4.
1400.
Damn. So, yeah, exactly that, right? So, Crazy's probably going to try and drop over, but he still wants a bit of util. So
I mean, he's buying it. He's going to buy an SMG for himself, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Peach is probably going to buy an SMG and armor.
So Rafa maybe just wants to go for util here.
Okay, so he would actually TMKJ was dropped an MP9 from either Rafa
Yeah, it
or
was
Crazy.
crazy, yeah, because then Crazy
yeah.
picks up 2 bits of util. He gets the molly and the nade behind it, and he gets dropped over that, and he gets just enough of half armor, and then 1 more HE.
Well, look, this buy is not half bad at this point.
Yeah, it is actually feasible, right? But a lot of the onus really comes down to those 2 rifles and actually Rafa. But the one good thing is that Rafa's been super proactive in the early round.
At this point, Portugal cannot play to lose, or play not to lose, right? They need to play as they did in that confident sector of Vertigo.
Yeah.
Where you've got TMKJ vying for initial map control, and really putting the pressure on Neelan to call up a storm. And he couldn't rise up to that task on Vertigo. Make him make that crazy round 24 call here if they want to stay in it.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Only going 1 or 2 ways here. Either overtime as Kazakhstan tie things up 12 apiece, or
There's that aggression, man. Look at Snappy going charging
Oh,
down.
and it might
The
just work.
flash is good.
oh, he gets 2. Oh, the third behind it. Snappy. How we've walked away with 3. Single-handedly, Matic just put this map on his back for Portugal and the series as well. Kazakhstan left down to 2. And Black Magic and Demento have got so much work and so little information to go off.
How do you dig yourselves out of this one, Kazakhstan? The captain stepping up when it matters most says, I'm going to charge down middle and pop 3 heads.
Yeah, talk about leading by example.
I
That
know,
is
right?
ridiculous. He has no right to get away with 2. The first one, fair enough, because he catches them off guard, but
That final little burst, man,
Yeah.
genuinely.
the trading, the spacing was just a little off, and Kazakhstan at the worst possible time. They just get caught with their pants around their ankles. Black Magic and Dementa, 2 versus 4, and it doesn't even feel like it has that much behind it. Sure, there's 2 MP9s on the other side, and it's a 2-2 split for Portugal. On control is going to be hard to come by as Rafa's posted, and surely this should be his every day of the week, and it is. Gets his on towards Dementa, and Black Magic has to pull off a quad clutch in this round. Bomb on his back, sure, but 25 seconds to try and make this work. It feels nigh on impossible. He's wasting time as he tries to vie for this pit control, and it feels like surely it should be done. The flashbang behind it's good as well, and the orb of Rafa sees it off. Snappy take a bow. They surround and hug him, and too damn right. Single-handedly might have just won that whole series for them.
What a turnaround. Genuinely, what a turnaround.
Yeah.
The reverse sweep. The question marks surrounding Vertigo, and then we move over to Inferno and we say Neelan's a great caller. They've got the stars to get them over the line. They have that clutch ability, but Portugal find a way to construct a win together.
Yeah.
I've got to give my MVP. I mean, honestly, I have a split decision. I give it between TMKJ and I give it between Snappy.
Yeah.
Genuinely calling up a storm and then rallying the troops when they were down, 10 to 7 or something like that?
I think I'm going to give it to Snappy for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were trying to figure out who it was because, normally the Agile sits in the middle, but he isn't. He was sitting second to the left, but he was getting so loud. He was, they were saving in a 2 versus 4. They were over on that B side where the bomb was planted over towards A, and he was shouting. He was like, hands were going. He was really getting leery because he was saying to them, we are not out of this game. We still have a very good chance to lock ourselves in towards that semi-final and be really in the upper echelons of the cash as well. So real credit coming through for those guys. They've stepped up in an absolutely mammoth way. I think TMKJ's impact as a rifler was fantastic, especially map number 2. But yeah, I think Snappy, it's not easy to outcall Neelan because he's arguably the best IGL here.
Yeah, I mean, that's we were talking about it outside before map 3, and we thought it was a pretty definite answer, right? We thought this series was an open and shut case, and Portugal have defied the odds. They've showcased these new additions to the Rhino banner, to that Portugal banner, are here to stay and are here to turn some heads. Genuinely so happy to see a team like this battle back from such a deficit and do it in such a commanding fashion as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this showcases as well now the depth that this Portugal / Rhino side actually have behind them as well. Because losing a player like a Gil, it's no easy feat. He was arguably the best player on this team. I think he is the best player on this team, or was, right?
He's proven
so
it.
Exactly. So losing a player of that sort of caliber, it's really hard to keep, you know, spirits high and coming towards an international tournament like this and still say that we have a chance. And now they're in the top 4 spot. So real credit to them. They've looked absolutely incredible. And even in their dark moments as well, you see these flashes of brilliance. You see how they can turn these sort of moments on their head. So for this next game between Serbia, you know, both of them have had their
It's up
downfalls.
in the air, man.
I know.
Genuinely.
And now they've had an upset as well on the other side of the bracket with Romania taking down Germany. Oh, I don't know. It's
All
a
of
very
sudden, day 3
weird
looks so
tournament.
good,
yeah.
man.
Day 3
Genuinely.
tomorrow is going to be very, very cool, right? We've got, of course, 2 semi-finals that are going to be played simultaneously, a third place matchup, and then, of course, the
Actually,
grand
no,
final.
I think the semifinals
finish
are
it.
one after the other, so we might have to get both of
There
them.
we
So,
go.
yeah.
We'll have to see. But for now, what we will go and see is Rafa over there for an interview.
Thank you very much, guys, for the amazing casting. The energy was so high, but was even higher. First of all, parabéns, obrigado for an amazing performance. So, you know, everybody was just hearing your energy and the yells and all of that. So what happened? What do you think really took place that changed your mindset to make this win happen?
I don't know. We were just all full hyped after losing the first map. We were really sad, but then we just have a deep talk. We were thinking each other what we can do better, and we just came for the second map just to destroy the enemy team, literally. And we were just everyone yelling, everyone pushing each other up. TMK just got an insane game, actually. He just did some good runs that saved us. And yeah, on the last map, we knew it was our map. We knew. Our snipe, he just said, that's our map, it's our IGL normally, and he just said, that's our map, and we were just all confident on these calls, and we just got the map.
You just got it, just like that. You know, I swear to God, it's like we were sitting on the other side and we were just hearing the yells and, you know, it's like, what's going on over there? What's happening? So, you know, you guys made it happen. Totally. So again, parabéns, congratulations for that taking place. Anything you want to say back home in Portugal right now in Lisbon and everybody over there for your friends, family and fans, even in Portuguese?
É só agradecer a toda a gente que nos apoia, continuar a apoiar. Nós estamos aqui para levantar o caneco, literalmente, e vamos continuar a dar tudo. A equipa está contente, obrigado a todos os sponsors, obrigado à FPDE, obrigado mesmo aos Rino, a Portugal todo, e é isso, é só isso. Obrigado e continuem a apoiar.
Obrigado indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Rafax from Team Portugal, and it's back to you guys.